Ahem.
Lester the unlikely, weak as he can be. Watch out for that tree, and crab, and seagull, and slightly high fall, and darts, and statue, and fire, and anxiety,
Keep going. How many more do you got?
and water. Oh, I have the whole list of hazards here from the manual, and sharp rocks, and subterranean fire, and falling stalactites, and dripping acid,
Very good. Okay. Very good.
and
then.
colonialism, which is an aspect of this game too.
Hello and welcome to the Bad Game Hall of Fame. Welcome to Lester the Unlikely. This is the show in which we play Lester the Unlikely, a game for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System released in around about January of 1994 in North America, and on September 16th, 1994, over in Japan. Developed by Visual Concepts, the studio behind the likes of Claymates and Clay Fighter, and who would go on to be responsible for every sports game of the modern era. Like, talk about a, I don't know if it's a glow up or a wind down. It's kind of hard to say. But there's also a second credit here for one Pangea Software. And when I say Pangea Software, I mean one uncredited developer, one uncredited programmer on the game by the name of Brian Greenstone, who lays claim to programming this game over on his personal website with the caveat that, quote, Lester was a game I never liked. Don't want to talk about it. So...
I made a game about myself and how cool I am, and the publishers looked at it and said, name this loser Lester.
Well, funny you should mention that, because there's another person who thinks they weren't credited in the game, even though they actually are. Their name is Eric Browning. He was a lead artist for a number of games across like Visual Concepts and High Tech Expressions et al. And when it came to Lester the Unlikely, he is actually the rotoscope actor for Lester. In the game's credits, he is credited as something along the lines of Lester played by. But there's an interview he did with SNES Central where he claims the game isn't on his resume. And he also has his own quote about the game, which says, one of those games that starts out way too ambitious and ends up merely adequate. There were many games that never saw the light of day, many more that actually get developed. So again, no one wants to claim to this. No one wants credit for this game. And it's not like this is one of the lowest rated games you've ever played. I think this is one of the big ones, just by reputation, by merit of the angry video game nerd covering it at a point in time. But, ultimately this game got like 50s, 60s, 70s, even as high as 80s when it came to critical consensus.
You say that no one wanted to take credit for it. I wonder why no one wants to take credit for, like, oh yeah, I was the main inspiration for Dipshit the Loser.
You may know me for my role as fucking idiot the geek. Not so proud of that one. Yeah, it's a curious case. Oh, I should also mention published by DTMC Incorporated and by Asmik Ace Japan for its Japanese release. Also, hello Johnny, hello Charkie. Just get all that out of the way at the top of the show. It's a curious case. It's a curious game. It's a platformer in which the gimmick is your protagonist, our Lester, the unlikely hero, is one of the most pathetic protagonists in all of video gaming. I think the award, the title for that, will always go to the protagonist of Spelunker. He is gaming's weakest hero, as recognized officially in Japan. But
That's what I thought.
Lester is definitely in contention. This game... We'll get into it, but I will say that I think this game is kind of parody. I think this game is kind of made knowingly, and I think it's hard to get too mad about a game that is knowingly obtuse, knowingly sort of eccentric in the ways that it controls and plays out.
I don't think... Just from what I know about the game, what I played about the game, I'm not sure if parody is the right word, but it's very tongue-in-cheek.
Sure, that's a word for it. We'll get more into it as we get into the game. This is one of those ones where we're just gonna jump right into it, see it through. Shouldn't be a particularly long one. It will be played by Charkie tonight. I still don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. It's an SNES platformer, so that's basically my kryptonite. That being said, before we dive into the game, before we dive into those bright blue waters on the island that Lester washes up on, we should dive into a bag of Charkie's Stream Snack.
Right, tonight's stream snack is Farm Rich breaded cheese curds, and our drink is Georgie Sparkling Tropical Punch. So gotta go with something little island themed for our island adventure. So I have a health complaint, which is as someone who now has to deal with a bunch of allergies. You know what I hate now is the words natural flavors on a any sort of like can of like soda or juice or whatever. Because legally in the United States, you have to list the major 9 allergens on your label if you have something in there that could cause an allergic reaction. You know, peanuts, soy, milk, etc. But if you have allergies to specific fruits, and I mean specific fruits, you don't have to list that at all. In fact, you don't even have to list what fruits are in your thing. You could just put natural flavors. Don't say a goddamn word about what flavors those are or what fruits you used, and be like, that's fine.
Keep them guessing. Keep them on their toes.
Yeah, that's odd. That seems like many lawsuits waiting to happen.
It's a thing where I believe it's because like those natural flavor things are like proprietary. So they're like, well, we don't want to give away our secret that we put pineapple in our pineapple drink, so we're just going to list natural flavors. It's the same with spice, actually. That you can just list spices and not put what the spices are. And I don't have a spice allergy, but for people who do have allergy-specific spices, that sucks. I hate that. So hopefully this natural flavor fruit blend won't have anything I'm allergic to, just in case I did take a little extra allergy med beforehand. But with that complaint out of the way, let me give it a taste while I ask Cass, what are you having?
I got a fucking sandwich over here that I can't wait to start eating. I still have a fever. I picked up a fever in the middle of our Casual Monday episode yesterday. So I'm feeling like 100 degrees right now. But
you know what they say? They say starve a cold, feed a fever.
Is that what they say?
Yes.
Okay, very
They
good.
also say that Mussolini made the trains run on time. We've been through that.
Shut up. Ever since Rogue Warrior, I'll never live it down. And I got some water chilling in the freezer. I've been drinking because the water that comes out the tap, the filter from the tap, never comes out cold enough, and ice cubes aren't enough. So I put my mug of water in the freezer, let it turn into one giant ice cube, and I kind of just let that melt over the course of like 30 minutes. Is as long as it takes in this fucking room in this sweat house that I currently reside in when I do the stream with the AC and the fan off and everything. So I'll look forward to that, getting that out the freezer in a little bit.
Update on the Sparkling Tropical Punch. I believe that was what the flavor was called. It is kind of like your general tropical punch flavor. You know, not like a Hawaiian punch, but just like, you know, your stock standard. You were a kid in the lunchroom and they had the tropical punch. But there's definitely like an acrid sort of taste in it too. Not quite in the battery acid level of acrid, but there's something off in there. Something that doesn't taste great, and I'm sure that's like whatever extra energy bullshit they put in here. It's supposed to be just be a green tea. I don't think that flavor's green. Maybe it's the L-theanine or whatever. Or maybe it's the lack of erythritol that they advertise in here. Who knows? Maybe that was the thing keeping it together. But it's not great. Johnny, what are you having?
Yes, to drink. This is something I got. We're briefly trying out a milkman delivery company that honestly delivers mostly not milk. They deliver a lot of things. But we have Sicilian lemonade, which is it's bitter, but it's very nice. Like very traditional style lemonade. And it's fun having the glass bottles again. And my snack, this is a bit of a mouthful. These are Walker's Wavy, inspired by Spanish queso, cheese flavor, potato crisps. Made with
Well, if
British
they're a
potatoes.
mouthful, just have one chip at a time.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a problem.
That's smart. Yeah. I couldn't find them. I would do the pick Keiji Inafune tip of using chopsticks when you're gaming, so you don't get like crisp crumbs on your controllers. But I'll have to make do. But these are pretty good.
Okay, you ever see those things? There was a Drew Gooden video where he showed these, where they're like chopsticks that you wear on your forefinger and your middle finger. So like you can game and have these things on the back of your fingers worn like rings, and then when you want to eat, you just like use them like chopsticks.
Yes, I remember this.
I haven't seen that, but I can picture that. Yeah.
The more I think about it, the more that's like actually that might be vaguely useful. But
Yeah.
I see
You know,
we're
if
running
you
out of
can
time here,
handle-
so that will do
Yeah.
it for the stream snack.
Very good. And with that, we'll cut away to that tropical main stage. We're in the jungle, baby. We're gonna die, presumably, a few times in the course of
we have
playing
like
this game.
we have like 3 lives per continue, so that's fine. I hope we have infinite continues. I have not thought about the possibility of we get to the end of the game and we're out of lives and continues.
Long plays of this game are like 40 minutes, so I think what we're gonna do is try to play it where it lies for the most part, not use the rewind or save states or whatever else too egregiously, unless it gets to a point where we need to get the fucking game done and we need to get it done within the 3 hours. So we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I also want to show this game was advertised. They did put out some ads in mags of the time for this game, including this one here, The Anatomy of a Hero. Pointing to his hair saying, "No greasy kid stuff here," pointing to his glasses. The only part of Lester that's bulletproof. He could afford bulletproof glasses? That's a strange claim.
It's
Points
canon.
to his neck. Support unit for his massive brain. Points to the sweatshirt, the hoodie. All-weather gear. Very rugged, and that sweat never shows. His little comic book that factors into the plot somewhat. Hey, a hero has to get inspiration from somewhere. His fucking denim jeans that are built to survive a 100-year flood, and his sneakers. He's got pretty clean sneakers. Leap confidently into hostile terrain. And I almost missed. They also point to his ears and say nature's answer to personal radar, which that doesn't make much sense. This is a bad ad. This doesn't do much to sell me on the video game, I must say. They do say it's 8 megs of hilarious action and heroic adventure, smooth animation that makes it feel hella real, HEL-O-real, over
Yeah, I
14
was looking at that. I was trying to
HEL
figure out what that meant.
Wait, spell that again?
HEL-O-REAL.
Yeah,
Hello.
they're referring to the Viking concept of hell, where it's spelled like that.
Referring to the German power metal band Halloween.
Ah. Two schools of thought there.
Digitized graphics brings Lester's every jerky step to life in true geek-o-rama action. They love doing the -o- bit for yeah, this is not a way to sell a game. I mean, the whole point, I guess, how are you supposed to sell this game other than by saying, here's a nerd for a protagonist? We'll see that in the next series of ads here. These welcome to the jungle ad spots that have some survival tips. Number one.
Yes, written as if Axl Rose forgot the lyrics. Welcome to the jungle.
Lester
Welcome to the jungle.
Unlikely. We got everything you want except for a fun game.
I like how they included a picture of the Atari Lynx version here, too.
Oh, yeah, beautiful. Yeah, they have survival tips 1 and 2. So these will maybe help you out, Charkie, as we get into the game. Survival tip number 1, avoid getting boxed in. And there's Lester in prison where he belongs.
Yeah,
And then
that's a good
survival
one, yeah.
tip number 2, it helps to have a good head on your shoulders. Which I guess is their way of saying don't get picked up by seagulls who drag you all the way backwards in the stage.
Features.
I mean, I see that image.
The fall of 1993. That's a
I see
feature
that
of this game,
image.
apparently.
Yeah, but I see that image, and it doesn't look like... Because if that seagull's picking him up, he's picking him up by the hair. So this looks more like Lester just can fly. and the seagull's just along for the ride and is terrified.
Edward pointing out that both
I wonder if they
ads...
rotoscoped that, by the way.
Edward21S pointing out that both ads use the same screenshot. They also use the same ad copy. The only thing that changes between the descriptions here is the features. They actually changed the features between these two ads. So the one on the left features include 8 meg, character personality, rotoscoped animation, fall 1993, whereas the one on the right says 8 meg game pack, 20 plus levels, rotoscoped animation, fall 1993. So they say 20 plus levels there, but in the previous ad, I'll remind you, over 14 levels of mind-popping puzzles, daring challenges, and deadly traps await Lester. So
that could be true. 20 years over 14.
That is true. It just seems like whoever was writing this ad copy had no idea what the video game was. That there was just like some... It's almost like a complete different team was responsible for marketing the game than the people who were actually developing the game and writing the narrative and whatnot. Anyway, this is very sloppy advertising, very inconsistent. And it wouldn't sell me on the video game, so that's a bad start, I will say.
Mm-hmm.
And now...
It vaguely reminds me of how bad... Oh, yeah.
Cass hates this. Bragging about the 8 megs, like, is confusing because, like, that's the normal size of an SNES game, isn't it? 8 megs. It's like saying, like, featuring on a CD for your PlayStation. It's a CD.
There were some SNES games, earlier SNES games would have come on smaller cartridges, possibly. I think there were like some 4 megabyte.
I'm having a look at that.
Well, anyway, let's get to the goddamn game at this point. I will get it up and running momentarily.
Yeah, the smallest it could go was 2 megabits. And then the biggest was 48.
Yeah, if this was a 48 meg game, that would be something.
Yeah. But no, I was going to say that advertiser reminds me of how poorly advertised Earthbound was, where the people doing the marketing just didn't know how to sell that game. You know, because the whole thing, it's like an RPG but in a conventional city, and then weird stuff happens.
Meet Lester, just a typical teenager, kind of geeky, kind of sleepy. Wow, the new issue of Super Duper Hero Squad is the best ever. I just wish I could afford to buy a copy of each of this issue's 52 different covers. That'd show the guys how cool I am.
Nerd culture. The more you change, the more you stay the same.
Well, time for my narcolepsy. I think I'll lie down here and finish reading my comic. Alligator Gal molted last issue. I wonder what she looks like. Aw pew, aw pew, aw pew. But Lester picked up a bad place to take a nap. Will the captain believe his story about being a reluctant stowaway?
Find out in our next issue.
Doesn't matter, they all died. As chance would have it, Lester's freighter was hijacked and scuttled by pirates. Luckily, before the ship sank, Lester found a life vest and swam for the nearest tropical island.
Doesn't seem like very effective
the
swimming.
ocean's made of jello. I can't move forward. It tastes like orange. Oh, where am I? Why am I? I'm so tired. The last thing I can remember is the ship. Pirates! Oh no! My comic is a soggy mess. I want to go home. I better find somebody to help me get off this island.
What an endearing start. What an endearing introduction. Mr. Starfish.
I don't think I noticed that first, but the implication there is that he swum to safety unconsciously. Like, that was not
on pure adrenaline.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is the button I found last time we did this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, throw it back.
Well, I mean, the music's so good. It's the only option. I can't remember who. I saw
Prince
someone...
of Persia like.
Yeah, Prince of Persia, rotoscoped, classic precision platformer. Saw someone surprised in chat that this was rotoscoped, but I don't know. This is very typical of that animation style.
No, I had no control over that. It just arrested control could be like, no.
That's a trick the game will pull multiple times over. and
Do
one
it
of
again.
the deep
Ooh.
frustrations of this game that people seem to have with it. So,
Yeah.
Which I don't think it's actually that big of a deal.
Yeah, we should mention we played a bit of this on a recent Bad Game Chance Time. So we're already somewhat familiar with the first few stages of this between us. And, you know, I'm familiar with this game just, you know, in abstract as well and where it goes.
And life!
Oh, now I got out of my system. Can you help me, Mr. Crab? Can you?
Ah!
Brutal.
Like,
I don't know if it has a conscience or not, and I'm afraid. Die.
Yeah, say what you want about Lester, but he does get over his fears. He goes from terrified to
Yes.
kicking turtles in the head.
Like, I think that is... I mean, that clearly is, like, why it's there. It is, like, to teach you, like, hey, this thing is dangerous. Like, I feel like if you were to see, like, a turtle like that, maybe in this game, like, you might not think, like, hey, this is going to kill me. Like, this thing is going to fuck me up. Lester running away from it the first time he sees it is like, okay, this is a danger. And then once he runs away from one thing, he'll never run away from it again.
Yeah,
So
no,
it's used to introduce you to the idea that this right here is a dangerous situation.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And doing it without just having a dialogue box come up on the screen. Also, yeah, the full damage you don't have to worry about. But again, very typical of the genre. I do wonder if that's why sometimes people have such a viscerally negative reaction to this, of just not being familiar with the genre. Like, obviously, Lester is meant to come off as a dweeb immediately.
Oh, fuck. I was trying to take a... what's the word I'm looking for? A standing sideways jump. Did not work out. There we go. That'll do. I was
That was
like,
pretty
it's
brave of
dangerous to
him.
run. Well, you know what? He was afraid of jumping a long distance over rocks once, but once he saw it once, then he's like, I got this. All right.
Yeah. It's the hero's journey, finally, in a video game.
I
Oh,
guess I could
that's
have done it from down there. I didn't think I had
Yeah.
enough clearance.
I mean, you're supposed to kick the turtle, jump off the turtle. That was what they wanted you to do there.
I don't think you can jump off the turtle. I don't think you can stand on it. We'll find out with the next turtle.
Yeah.
Here.
I'll see. I see a lot of comments in chat about Lester's posture, which it unconsciously makes me worry about my posture. It's really hard to even just watch this game and not try and straighten it out.
Yeah, I just sort of cracked my back just now.
Yeah. But yeah, if anyone in chat is not familiar with this style of genre, all your different jump types are very specific to how far they'll go. So like a standing jump will go a very set distance, a running jump longer.
Yeah, if
Like,
I can
it's-
get into like a position where something is not actively going to kill me.
Yeah. Some of these games would even work strap-on grid systems. This, I believe, is not quite that.
No, this is pretty freeform, all things told.
Yeah. But it, you know, some of that design carries over with, you know, like how far a jump will take you and around and things like that.
So just standing and hitting jump will do that. I believe if I just stand and hit side and jump, it's slightly further, and then a running jump is the furthest.
And
Also,
you
I
know,
think there's, like, a
ultimately,
hold up. Yeah.
You have to hold up to jump straight up.
ultimately over the course of a game, you know, like proper scaling of difficulty, a proper difficulty curve would be you start the game and they're giving you extra room, extra like, you know, clearance for jumps, you know, so you can like dial that in so you can, oh, well, that was inevitable. You know, so as you get deeper into the game, you're required to do like by later in a game like a Prince of Persia, they up the difficulty by making the jumps like, you know, very particular, having sequences of them they have to do very quickly, and you just know intuitively. Oh boy!
Speaking of knowing intuitively, we're gonna start from the
Oh,
top so we don't have zero continues.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
I
might
was
be the
gonna
move.
say.
Yep, that's probably the right move.
I was gonna say, oh, you done, Charkie? Was that it?
I turns out I don't like this game, so I will retire for the evening. Goodbye.
It's a short show.
Oh.
So I have to get used to like some of this jump timing again because I was playing Oddworld yesterday, and or one of the remakes of it, and that is much snappier jumping. So I have to get used to doing things earlier than I thought than I would think.
Yeah, I'll definitely say this game does seem quite unforgiving if you don't pick up how it wants to be played. And
Yeah, you do have to approach this methodically.
Yeah, and trolley aspects, but I don't know. It's funny to think about nowadays because there are a lot of games that actually thrive on this kind of design. I can't remember what the name of it is, but I know you've played it in the Discord, Charkie.
I'm guessing Baby Steps.
Yes. I didn't even have to describe it and you knew it.
You know, all those quap likes, I call them, where it's just based around a very particular methodology of movement where the control is incredibly specific. This is not that. This is, you know.
No.
Oh.
Oop. Uh-oh. Well, that was a net.
Yeah.
The stun time,
Loss.
the fact that you don't down enemies, that they just get right back up, is fucking obnoxious.
I wonder if that's a conscious choice, though. They don't want to make Lester
Too powerful.
You know, like a killer.
Yes.
Well, no, they don't want him indiscriminately killing the animals.
Well, he
I
already
bet I could
kicks
kill a
him
turtle by kicking him in the head. Anyway, that was to say something nice, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Say something nice. Hey, rotoscope. Look at that run.
Yeah, no, the animations are fun.
Again, credit to, what's his name? Eric Browning, motion capture actor, and also an artist on the game in some capacity, I believe, who was, like, primarily an artist. You know, visual concepts. Before they became the house of WWE and NBA 2K games. They
I
had
was wondering if this was going to happen. I put
Is this
myself
a
in a weird
soft lock?
position. It is not a soft lock. I just have to...
Can you not push it back?
I could, but I could also get over like this. All right.
Bad pushing sprite. Bad clipping on
There
that.
we go.
Anyway, this is the era where Visual Concepts was throwing stuff against the wall, the likes of Clay Fighter and Claymates. I think they were responsible for Tasmania. Goddamn Spot the Cool Adventure. A lot of garbage in between some games that were genuinely successes. Mostly, they're sports games, like the early NHL games on the SNES and Genesis et al. So I think eventually this was a studio that settled into their role of making sports games, but they had this experimentation period in the early 90s. And they had some pretty talented people, some pretty artistically minded people, I would definitely say. They were definitely like a very aesthetic-forward studio. And I think that's the kind of thinking people who are, you know, seeing
The
games
concepts
as
were very visual.
yeah, one might say. People who are seeing, like, you know, the video game as a canvas in this sort of way were more keen at the time to experiment with the form. And this game is definitely experimenting with the form, for better or for worse. You know, this isn't the first of its kind either. We've covered the subject of Bakage on the Bad Game Hall of Fame before. It's a scene parallel to the Kusoge scene in Japan, for those who don't know, which are deliberately stupid games. Games that are deliberately, like, annoying in their ways, that feature, you know, really dumb gags. Not to say they're all awful, but, you know, they play it being awful. They pretend. They will do things deliberately to get a reaction out of you, to get a groan or whatever out of you. And this game is very much in that vein. I wouldn't call it a Bakage because it's not a game that emanates from Japan. I think when it comes to Kusoge and Bakage and things like that, you have to keep that shit to the country of origin, that, you know, you should just be tossing Kusoge on every bad game. But this would definitely be Bakage adjacent in my mind.
No, he disagrees. No. I'm not a Bakage. I'm cool.
I definitely think it's, yeah, an apt comparison, though.
That hurt?
Why
Right,
did you take damage
Yes. Yeah, that is the thing. We will find issues with this game, and I do remember some of the logic behind what will hurt him is very weird. Like, yeah, the full distance makes sense. I think the logic there is just it's such a big leap that he's just like
Hurt
smacking
your
his
arms.
yeah his arms and his head is smacking the ledge. Which, granted, you know, I think if any of us tried that jump in real life, we probably would hurt ourselves.
Nah, I'd be fine.
I don't know if you noticed, but
bold claim.
after he sees
Well-
a danger for the first time and like he runs away, the second time he'll approach like really cautiously, like arms up and like kind of walk
Stanced
slowly.
up, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then after that he'll never do that again.
Maybe, Cass, we have an idea for some like physical segments if we ever do those live shows.
Oh, I'm
You can-
so for it. I will destroy my body on stage for the bit.
Just like, yeah, set up American. Oh, what's the name of that? game?
Ninja Warrior.
Gladiators.
Ninja Warrior. Yeah, just set up one of those.
I want to come out. I want to do the what was it called? Demolition Team, that Christian group that would just like break boards and do like backflips for the Lord. That's what I want. I want that kind of vibe. I want that kind of
So,
joie
I'm sorry,
de
I'm
vivre.
not. Sadly, I'm not familiar. I don't know why.
What's
Missed
that,
that somehow.
group? What's that group now that does that too? They're people who do like the body armor drinks. Not the Try Guys, but it's like something similar. Like they do big like stunts or whatever, but they do it for the Lord and they lead prayer at their shows.
The Exertion Pals. Yeah, no, that's just a side. Something I don't know about. I have to do some research after
Look
stream
it
now,
up.
I guess. Yeah.
Honestly, just look up body armor the drink, and it's like whatever YouTube channel is like tied with them, it's that.
In the meantime, do you think Lester is an energy drink drinker? Do you think he does like late night gaming sessions? And what is his energy drink of choice, if so?
He drinks gamer subs for sure.
That parses.
What would the 90s equivalent be of gamer subs though?
Tang.
90s equivalent.
It's a kick in the glass.
Yeah, Tang.
Oh.
Damn it.
Oh.
Oh, whatever. You had one health
Yep.
anyway. Yeah.
I'm curious, how responsive are the
Ow.
running jumps? Like, does it do
It's-
the Tomb Raider 1 thing where you have to time it with like your jumping foot planting?
It feels like I have to do it all a little early.
Okay.
So here's my
I
thing.
Quite
feel like
as-
that is kind of like par for the course of a lot of like these like
But maybe not as hyper specific as Tomb Raider 1 then.
No, I mean this is
Okay.
working on different things. I think like a lot of games that were like Prince of Persia had this sort of feeling of not just methodical, but also like almost delayed. Feeling like you have to
Mhm.
hit things earlier than you would think you would do in,
Because
like,
there's
a
so many
different
frames of
platformer.
animation in so many cases that have to play through, and you're not actively in the air until the fifth sprite of this animation of him jumping, right? So it's
Yeah.
issues like that where, again, as ambitious and as rotoscope and as many frames of animation as detailed as they are, you will have issues occasionally with that getting in the way of startup frames of the ability to play a game smoothly. And it's, in particular in
I
this
don't
genre,
remember
you need
needing
to
a key
toss
for
something
this.
at it.
Oh yeah, I need a rock.
Right, yeah.
Ow.
Remember, you can't just
Okay.
jump. You can't just leap like that. You gotta.
Kudos to him
down.
though. Lester can also do full pull-ups under that hoodie.
Yeah.
Jacked.
He's
Yoked.
he's actually in pretty good shape, all things considered.
Yeah. Despite his narcolepsy.
So here's my bit. Everyone knows I hate platformers. That's the long running joke. It's not that I hate them. I just don't prefer them ultimately. And that there's, in my contention, in my opinion, there's never a generation worse than this era, the SNES Genesis era for platformers. That just the games from this time were so particular and so miserable to play, collectathons at all. And, at the same time, I look at a game like this, I look at like the likes of a Prince of Persia, and that is also kind of like antithetical to like what I'm looking for in a game. That degree of deliberacy, of limiting your movement, of limiting your ability to express yourself through like your movement or what have you, and having you play in a very prescribed, methodical, particular way, it's just not my cup of tea. I understand it has its place, This is all to say that this game here, even on the best of days, even the best of cases like a Prince of Persia, I find the process of engaging with that game miserable because of the controls. So to take that style of control and to deliberately sabotage it in certain ways to make it even more unforgiving.
I don't find it more... Okay, it's been a while since I played the original Prince of Persia, but I don't find it in any particular way like more sabotaged or more hamstrung.
The ways they play with
Beyond the
fall
whole-
damage and jump damage here, with the fact that you can crush your chest jumping across from one platform to another to grab it.
That part is kind of bullshit. But
The fact
in
that you can't
general
kill
fall
enemies so that they
seems
pop up
normal.
as soon as you're like standing on them, trying to platform on top of them. The way they've positioned enemies so deliberately to pick themselves back up and damage you, making the entire process of attacking completely worthless.
Red skeletons in Castlevania, which I also hate. But
Yeah, it's not super dramatic, but yeah, there's definitely a couple things in this game that are definitely taking an idea and like building
it is
on
trying to
the
get your
somewhat
goat.
clunkiness of it. Yeah. I wonder if we'll find a goat as well. What's going on with Alligator Girl though? That's what I want to know.
Well, she
well,
molted
she molted
recently.
last year.
Yeah.
Oh, this is...
I think that means she got bigger, right?
yeah. Maybe if we can get Kairu Crocodile on stream, she can tell us what that's like. She's a
Haven't crossed that name
VTuber,
off the
don't
list
you know?
yet.
No. Yeah, still welcome.
The cast doesn't know who she is, so hasn't had an opportunity to say anything really mean about her.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all it takes.
Let me. How would I sell her to someone? If
Crocodile.
you, yeah, she's a crocodile lady, an artist. I guess if you didn't like her, you would say she's jaded. What's the opposite of jaded? Jaden?
What the fuck are you
I
talking
mean,
about?
I think he's trying to get at she was part of Drawfee.
I don't know what the fuck
She
that
was
is.
one of the artists on Drawfee, and then she left, and she's doing her own thing now. Am I correct, Johnny?
Yeah. Like
Art.
I set up her name. Yes, Battle Tag, it's Jada Smith. You got it in one. Good job.
Frank Gothic has a question. In comparison to that
Yeah.
restrictive kind of platforming we've been mentioning, how do you feel about Tomb Raider's platforming, minus Angel of Darkness, of course? I mean, it's the evolution of this. In my mind, it has always been, I know we were just talking about it, but in my mind, it has always been the evolution of, okay, you need to, like, learn what distance this jump is versus this jump versus this jump. You know, they give you the time and space to practice it. You know, like, ideally, the way to engage with that game is to go to Laura's mansion and really take the time to master all those jumps and note like how far they take you in a given direction. But ultimately,
This
it's
is
just
my mansion. Come here, check out my crib. This is the room where I keep all my comic books. You can jump on them if you want to practice.
but like ultimately, I just want I don't want like 4 different types of jump. 4 different types of running jump for different situations. I'd rather just have one really good jump that overshoots in most cases and that I can measure out or that I can, you know, like hold back on. I can stop myself short. I can have some amount of air control. So if I overshoot, I can at least steer myself back onto a platform. You know, like you're spoiled by the likes of, I don't know, like Mario and what have you.
Yes.
I mean, I essentially have this jump and I have a running jump. I know I have this jump as well, but that's like so far that's real situational.
But yeah, no, that's
Like my types of jumps are: am I moving or not?
Ooh. Yeah, no, 100% correct. Yeah, like Tomb Raider, classic Tomb Raider was a evolution of this style, and it's funny as well. What was it? I played it on a Casual Monday some time ago. Specifically the remasters with the alternative controls, and it's funny. The game actually feels worse to play with those controls. I wasn't expecting it because the controls are very particular, but
I saw that.
it's like, actually, no, it turns out this game is designed very specifically around this control scheme and doesn't work when you try and give it like 2D analog movement. It's, yeah. Oh, there's a
Something.
shiny down there. Yeah.
Good checking.
Yeah, as I mentioned, Tomb Raider 1 does have the really particular timing on jumps, where you have to time it with like where your foot plants, and that's a bit annoying. But 2 and onwards, they got rid of that. It's a little more lenient. Ooh.
Yeah, there we go. As a reward for restoring the Emerald Crystal to its rightful place, you may now pass the Guardian Tiki unharmed. You must seek Hector to return home, but beware, he lives in the village just beyond the haunted burial ground.
So magic's
Ask the
real.
room of the Silver Monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joy Real mentions, I'm surprised that didn't scare him. I'd be freaking out if a statue came to life and started talking to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is where the game starts to get a little bit more difficult.
I feel like
The
my
timing on
jump input was eaten, but see, get scared.
I mean, it's definitely a step up in terms of hazard.
I hit jump so many times.
Okay, I'm gonna
Just the
give
fiery
you
pits of
this
hells
one.
there. Yeah.
In short time, your fate will be sealed.
Give you a
What
chance
maze?
here.
What maze here?
Yeah, I'm gonna bet that
Mm-hmm.
flanked on either side of the center platforms, that the platform immediately to the right of what you're gonna jump onto.
Whoa!
Oh,
Huh?
what was that?
That arm pulled me in.
Oh, okay. I thought you slid. Right, I see it now. Yeah. Oh, you got grabbed by the ghoulies. I see what happened. Yeah.
Precisely.
Exactly as I was gonna say before you got dragged into hell, that yes, if you overjump it, you're gonna land on a platform that disintegrates underneath you.
Yeah, I thought I was not overjumping. that
Yeah.
one.
This is a major escalation. All things told.
In terms of danger, yes.
Yeah,
You
what
reached
the-
that
Why
one.
aren't our haunted burial grounds like this? And like the skulls aren't even really buried; they're just planted.
I mean, we have a lot of haunted graveyard like tours around here, and
Yeah.
like they have to bring people in to like put the arms down so they won't get the tourists. People want to see the arms, but then when they let the arms down, they drag them to hell. They get complaints. People are like, "I didn't want this," and it's like, "Well,
Yeah.
what did you want?"
Yeah, you signed a waiver. What are you moaning about?
I
Not
Speaking of that
scary at
maze-
all.
Hmm.
I have a test for you, stranger. In front of you are the skulls of Watuka. If you drop the skulls of my evil rivals, Banonga and Tomongo, into the fire, I will let you pass. Drop my skull into the fire, and I'll send you after it.
You
Can you
say
give some
to Mungo.
hints?
No.
You say to Mungo. I say to Mango.
Okay, so let's deduce.
Call the whole thing off.
I'm gonna guess, based on the absolutely no hints, just based on his headwear that he's wearing.
Okay, well,
or is that his hair?
wait. He has 2 eyes, so it's not the one in the center.
Okay, good call. Okay, oh, yeah, I see what they're doing. Maybe the one on the left, because, you know, he does have a slightly larger nose. Do you think that matches up with the slightly larger nose on the left?
I think his, on the screen that we're seeing, I think his right eye is a little bigger than his left, I think, which matches this. So don't throw that one in.
Yeah, definitely. You can definitely throw the center one in.
I think this one too. Nope.
Oh!
Okay,
that's
well,
called
good
that
to
wrong.
know.
There you go. Couldn't he just be like, not that one? I don't know. I don't see what it is then. The middle one I obviously got, but
You know what it
Yeah.
is? It's trial and error. Is what it is.
I think there is an answer. I just didn't catch it. You have chosen wisely. I will let you pass. Sorry, I blew up your foot there.
With Lester's sneakers, though, he's fine.
So that was sudden.
Oh yeah.
Best steamed rock. Nom, 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 nom.
A good
Ooh.
thing
Honey,
in
I'm
moving up.
home.
I guess we live here now.
Now we have health
Yep.
thing there at least.
Health, yeah, if you need it.
If
Also,
Lester were
speak of an early
British,
redeem.
he would just move right in. He'd just take it right over.
You notice I do the start and stop a lot, and that's because I would like to move kind of fast, but also I don't want to run into something that's immediately going to kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking
That's
of
the
immediately going to
beginner's
kill
trap
me,
of
I
this
have a
game.
hunch about going into this place. Yep. Right.
Amazing dodge though.
You know what it was? Here, you see no smoke out of this chimney and smoke out of this chimney. So there are people
Nice.
in here.
Yeah.
So
That's,
Resident Evil
that's
5.
a nice detail. Yeah. Oh.
What if you
Okay,
need
so-
to talk to some of the villagers, though? What if ultimately you need to go into that?
All right, so I did look at the manual, and I posted a screenshot of this in our, stream room chat for us to look at. But they do say in the manual that all the villagers are hostile, but it's only because they have been influenced by pirates. So Western influence has come and made all of these villagers hostile. So it's not their nature; it's the nature of imperialism and colonialism.
Yeah. They've only seen,
Hector,
them as threats. So.
Hector's the
minute.
one you have to find, right?
yes, but wait a minute. I knew this was suspicious. Over to the right. Get up there.
What was suspicious to me is the fact that it over-scrolled, so you could go here and
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So they gave you
Up.
some amount of clues.
Up. There we go. Up. Up and over.
I do like that the hints are
Up.
are just visual though, and not having to all be conveyed in text.
Surely I'm not missing another step here.
It's weird. There is that climb animation. That seems really finicky to get to come out. Yeah,
Up
part
and
of me's wondering
over.
if you can just go to the tippy toe on the left of it and then jump.
Maybe use that to get up to the Hector statue.
Okay, no. All right,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
let's try this. No,
Yeah, let's try other objects in the room, potentially.
Yeah, gonna have to leave the room probably to reset it.
Remember that thing about like JD Vance fucking couches? 'Cause that's what I'm seeing here. All right, what
It
if
is
we
a s-
reset this room?
Yeah, it is a strange push animation.
This does reset, right? Okay, good. Like, we may be barking up the wrong tree right now. Like, maybe we don't need to do this right at the moment.
Or no,
Or-
I think you got it. I
Or
think you
maybe
need
we
to
just put it in the right position.
Yeah, try it right in front of the fire, basically, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what makes him... Sometimes he will clamber up on, like,
Mhm.
a waist-high thing. Most of the time, he will not.
It's fucking
I
women
don't
of
know.
prayer. Yeah, this jumping fucking sucks. This jumping
think
is bad.
I don't think it's the jumping that sucks. It's whatever this clamber thing is. Because it's supposed to be working, and it's not. Okay. Aha! That almost felt unintentional, the way I did it. Hi! My name is Lester.
Hi, I'm Tika, daughter of Hector, the island's leader.
I'm just hanging out here in the woods outside. What a coincidence! My father is also named Hector and the chief of the village where I come from. I've been looking for your father. I hope he can help me get back home.
I'm sure he can, but maybe I can help you too.
Well, maybe so. You're about the first friendly person I've met since leaving home. Or in general. Tell me, what's going on around here anyway?
Some pirates have been hanging around our island. They've built themselves a dock behind the volcano. And they're using it as a base to attack passing ships. They've angered our ancestors and scared all of the animals in the jungle. What's worse, they've kidnapped my father, and they're holding him hostage to make sure we don't interfere with them.
By the way, do you speak really fluent English, or
Yeah,
am
I was
I
gonna
fluent
say.
in your language, or I'm unsure what's
I'm
happening
impressed either way, yeah.
May I say your Russian is impeccable.
here? Gee, that's terrible. I've got to rescue your father. Leave it to me, Lester the Heroic. Now listen, publisher, remember, this is the name we've agreed on for the game.
This is the
Don't
branding.
change it.
More like Lester the Unlikely. You can hardly
Hey,
take
who's gonna
care of
save your
yourself.
fucking father here?
You can
Come
hardly
on.
How could you possibly rescue anyone else?
She's beautiful.
Well, okay, fine. I won't rescue your father. Jeez. I'll show you.
Quick, Lester, you'd better leave the village, stay on the rooftops, and look out for the other villagers. They might mistake you for a pirate. Yeah, he's definitely got the look of a pirate, Lester.
Yeah.
Yar.
So, interesting that Lester's appointing himself the hero here, and that
Yeah.
this lady, Tika, I believe her name was, is just so quick to be like, you're a scrawny fucking loser, dweeb. What the hell are you gonna do? So it's apparent to
Anyway, save
anyone
my
and
father.
everyone. Yeah.
Bah. Unfortunately, Lester fell into the village and was captured by natives. Lester is being taken to a bamboo prison, where all the bad bamboo is. Bamboo prison cell, where he will await his fate. But there must be another way out. I wonder if I could have kept running and gotten past that, or if that was... It's probably scripted.
All right. Do you have any ketchup on
Do you
you?
have any ketchup? Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. Oh, he does have. Look at him. He does have a key.
Oh.
Yeah, when he turns around to see that, it gets frozen on him.
Yeah, I think it's just when he puts his back up to you, you just gotta grab it.
Okay, I'm gonna go all the way over here.
I do like they just gave you a locked you up with these infinite rocks.
There we go. You can give him rocks. Alright. Like, the moment I open this door, he's gonna beat my ass.
Presumably,
thing.
yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna wait for him to...
Curious if anyone's credit.
Ow. Alright,
That's
so he
pretty
can
funny.
hear that.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I'm curious if we have a rotoscope credit for these buff men.
Okay, so what you gotta do is you gotta grab the key first, and then the rock will probably work. Now, you can probably toss it at him to knock him out. Okay, never fucking mind, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
You can't really.
Hey, look
throw
what I
that high.
got. I bet you want that, don't you? Why don't you get in this jail cell? Think.
Jesus.
I thought I could run towards. I thought I could maybe duck. Okay, I can't do that. What if I'm going to do one more thing, and you're probably going to have to rewind after it. I'm going to lure him close to me here. Wait for him to turn around and immediately chuck the... No. Wait a minute. This is also not going to work, but... Duck. Nope. Right. Doesn't matter where he is, he will hear me open this gate. I don't have much recourse. Yeah, that was me trying to run away while that happened.
Huh. Yeah, this is, Huh.
It burned through all your continues, like, right here, trying to figure out this puzzle.
Yeah, that's what would happen, effectively. The way this is structured with the limited lives, limited continues, limited options here, is that ultimately you'll burn through, like, a number of them that have to replay the game up to this point. I wonder if you can just, like, straight up conk him on the noggin. Like, if he puts his back up to it again and you just...
Like that?
No, I'm saying when he has his back to the door.
Jesus Christ. Okay. All right, let me get this.
And just run up to him and just, like, use it from here. No.
Nope, and I tried kicking him, too, for good measure.
Ah, okay. Well, I don't know if it's going to come up, but I will confirm to you, Charky, you can get past the part where you jump in on the roofs and they collapse in. That is an option. But I think even if you beat that level, you end up here anyway.
Ah, so this was a shortcut.
Basically,
I'm
yeah.
partially free. What if I take just a jump up? But I did okay. I should have waited for him to move over.
Okay, I've seen the solution and I'm confused because well,
huh?
I guess is that good enough?
I think he's like, well, I tried my best, and my best wasn't good enough. You're free to go.
Ah, shit, I only had one. Yeah, so I watched the long play, and in the long play, this guy actually patrols going across the cage, so he'll walk behind it.
Little monkey fella.
And the long play just waits for him to go behind the cage and then runs. Maybe it's different if you beat the level before. Also, nice reflexes on that.
Now I'm scared. Alf, get off.
Oh, look at that.
It's hard to tell if that monkey was a foreground or
chimp.
background element, yeah.
Oh, no,
There's a snake above,
can
snake
tell.
above, snake above.
Yes, I do. I was trying to lure it out.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to say that the chimps chill. Just hanging around.
Yeah,
Okay,
I see
yeah.
it. Fuck.
I do wonder if you had maybe a particular overscan on your TV, if you would maybe not, well, underscan, I guess, you would not see these snakes. Because that was an issue back in the day.
I think the snakes always just drop at the far end of the raft. So it's less about baiting them out and more about being, like, in primo position.
Oh, there's going to be a jump, I bet.
Or a fall.
Alright.
Yippee.
So I only have one canteen left.
A section's so nice, you're going to do it twice.
There you go.
They call this guy unlikely, but he's just kicking fucking snakes. I'd never be so bold.
It's not at the edge of the thing. There is an element. There is an element of like luring him out. But
Yeah, but the strat I think is staying at the front and then walking back when you know you're getting a drop. Yeah. Whoa.
Piranhas ain't shit, I
that worked
guess.
out. Yeah.
now they are.
Oh, I see. Because you turned around a bit, I think it like changed the arc. So you definitely don't want to move backwards when they show up.
No grabbing, I guess.
I'm curious. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. I was gonna say if you had time to
So
try it
fucking
again.
mean. Like,
Yeah.
Granted, I saw the snake up there, but you're just so tempted to get the health like straight away because you've undoubtedly taken damage at this point if you're playing this game.
You know what I think would help this game immensely is if it did not have limited continues. It had infinite continues, but still had like a life system, and I could actually turn around.
Are there checkpoints in this, by the way? No.
No.
No mid-stage checkpoints is another big fucking problem.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get to the end, but I would say this game's most glaring issue is it has a live system, which it really does not need. Also, I see Lola has posted in the chat that the only cheats this game has is a level select. Though, it is an incredibly simple code. You just alternate X and Y a couple of times, and that takes you to the level select screen.
Not grabbing onto that.
The vine.
Yeah.
The vine that would be incredibly easy to fucking miss your first several times trying this. There shouldn't be a stage select code. There should be fucking passwords in this game. Is what they should have done. They should have had like passwords for each fucking level.
Yeah.
Just 4 character passwords. That's all you need.
All you have to do to jump on these vines is jump onto the vine, apparently. So.
Yeah. It's a minor thing. I don't mind that.
Didn't jump.
You know, if they've designed it, they don't want you to ledge grab there. That's fine. I wish there was a more visual cue. What'd be really cool would be you would have an animation where you would try and grab it and then he would like slip.
What would be really cool is if you had been tutorialized at any previous point or given an opportunity that isn't life or death to figure out how the vine mechanic works, how the swinging from vines works earlier in the game.
Yeah,
so this isn't the first time you're figuring it out. So you basically have to know the vine's there. You basically have to jump so early as to be like, to have prior knowledge that the vine is going to be in that spot because it's off screen when you made the jump.
It seems like you have to grab it at the very, very bottom. Also, thank you. Sorry, I don't have an excuse for that one.
Yep, stinky plant. Classic.
That's impressive.
Yeah, the effect worked when they put them like right at the top of the screen, just having the frozen sprite.
Not so
just
much.
balancing. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm going into a trap, but maybe not.
Yeah, no. I feel it. Feel you, Lester. Hey, look at that. Nailed it in one. I spoke too soon. That's on me.
And it looked like he got nailed in the balls too somehow from his position.
Insult to injury.
Granted, I've never fallen that far, so maybe that is what happens. It like reverberates through your bones. Yeah, I'm gonna take the blame for that one, Charkie. I feel like I cursed you.
Here. There we go. Oddly enough, the manual says specifically that to beat this level, you need to swing across 2 vines.
Interesting.
Don't know why they bothered saying that.
I figured I was gonna look, but that makes sense. I figured this is a game where the manual would have level-specific tips, that's not great for a game. If a game needs that specific tips, that's a problem.
That's a failure of design. Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, they have level-specific tips, but they're not helpful level-specific tips. It's like, on this level, you need to swing across 2 vines. I guess it's saying, like, there's a lot of vines that you... Could you please rewind me?
Yeah, sure.
That's just a lot of things. I guess here it's saying, like, if you're swinging across a bunch of vines, you're taking a path that you don't need to take. There's the level-specific thing for the caverns, which says, treat the caverns like a maze. Oh, well, I mean, I was going to because it was a maze, so...
I'll say not too bad, especially for this era. It was a quite painless maze.
Could have been worse.
I'm worried. Yeah, I'm worried that's where this game's gonna go. You know, he takes damage, but he keeps fucking going.
I wonder if you can just, like, from this point forward, just, like...
Yeah, that's my plan. See at what point I can't go forward anymore.
Yeah. If only you just... All you had to do was roll when you landed.
I think with the parallax scrolling taken into account, that monkey is huge.
Yeah.
Okay,
oh, fuck
so
off.
I actually think that was the one I needed to be at.
Yep.
Yeah, I had to jump off that one a little earlier. Thanks, God. I have to jump off that one earlier. Oh,
Yeah, oh,
when they say
yeah.
you have to swing across 2 vines, they mean in a row.
Hmm. Oh.
What did y'all do it?
Yeah, say something nice. Hmm.
That's really hard to do when the game is being this mean right now. This
Yeah.
fucking particular. I guess it's good that they didn't go full stereotype on the tribal village, on the villagers and whatnot. That they at least came up with an excuse to be like, the only reason why they're hostile is because they're dealing with fucking pirates. So, they could also just as easily say like, yeah, they don't trust fucking white people and they probably shouldn't. So, it makes sense why they're hostile towards you. Like, they could have done like any number of ways. But, it's weird to see visual concepts be, somewhat racially sensitive here, and then Clay Fighter 63 and a third, and just like characters in that. It's like feels like 2 steps, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, with the benefit of time.
Okay,
Did they do
as it
all
pushes.
the clay fighters?
No, I think they just did. I think they primarily did the first.
Yeah.
Then Claymates. I don't think they did Judgment Day, but I think like team members from the squad like continued to work on the squeakles. I know I must have written about it when I did the Clay Fighter 63 and a third article on the site.
Yeah.
What the
Oh no, I
team looked
hear
like.
that series development history is super messy. Like even the company that did the actual claymation animation, like that was a whole mess.
Yes.
And swap into a different company that wasn't as good. And
Wait, okay, let me figure out what would the end result of what I'm doing there be? Nothing. Okay. So I can get up here.
Can you jump from there, like up and down, just like pick up the pot
Okay.
on the other platform.
on the shelf, eh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See if I can figure out how to clamber up on things. Okay, that worked. I swear,
okay.
when I just walk off like that, I swear I'm trying to jump.
When I think about it, this puzzle makes sense. Yeah.
A candle.
Mm-hmm. What could you do with a candle?
I'm wondering if I need the other candle, but
I don't know. I don't think you need both. No.
Well, there you
Yeah,
go.
I don't think that puzzle's bad. I think just the fact you could pick that up was not clear enough. But aside from that, I think that's a fine enough puzzle.
What happens if you fall in the hole?
because
I'll
I know
rewind
what's
you.
going to happen.
Just had to know. Just had to know.
Oh. Oh.
Sharky.
If there were like button inputs, you would see how many times I'm hitting jump.
It's a bad game.
There is definitely an unresponsiveness to the. Okay, I probably should have seen that coming.
That's a. Okay, yeah. As long as you're paying attention.
Infinite
Yeah,
momentum on it.
Okay. Do you know what bothers me here, though? Lester, you idiot.
Crawl.
Do you not know how to crawl? Can you not do the duck walk?
Yeah, I'm trying.
I guess he's not cool enough to do a duck walk.
Yoink. Oh, okay.
Oh, I like how casually he did that.
Yeah, of course I know how to use a boomerang.
Large monkey. Do you think
Boss
those hurt?
fight.
That hurts.
Yeah, I wasn't sure when I was skimming a long play for research, but yes.
The manual actually lists. Remember that ghost puzzle? The
Yeah.
manual listed that as a boss fight.
Of a sort.
Okay, leaves do not hurt me. By the way, when you throw the boomerang, you cannot move again until you catch the boomerang.
Yeah, I figured that was
That's
the case.
not a huge issue with how this is going, but you know what? They could have made this difficult, but they didn't.
Joe's asking who wins one gorilla versus 100 Ben or one Lester, and yeah, one Lester wins.
My mouth is full. Johnny, you read this.
Thanks for knocking out the great big ape, Lester.
Don't mention it, because I'm pretty sure that was an endangered species, and I could go to jail. I'm pretty good at boomerangs.
I guess I was wrong about you. Maybe you will rescue my father after all.
Yeah. I know I can do it. Period. Not exclamation mark. Just have to have the right level of no emotion.
Be careful, Lester. The village elders often talk of the evil that lurks in the swamps ahead. If you go into the caverns below it, you may never see the blue sky again, so it is wise to take some of it with you.
Take some of the blue sky?
Yeah, I guess.
So why was the gorilla capturing a lady?
Oh, you know how
Like
they
it's
do.
fucking King Kong? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Sometimes you're just in a situation, you know that making the first move is just going to lead to a lot of difficulty.
No, don't worry. Lester can totally outrun this cheetah.
By the way, notice how he runs now? Now that he's kissed the girl?
Okay,
Oh, he kissed
so
the girl
this
and he
is
liked it.
this is something I was.
Whoops.
Yeah,
All that
use the
confidence
continue.
for nothing.
This is something I was curious about that I was hoping the game would do. This is a say something nice. There is actual progression here that he does get more confident as the game goes
Jump
along.
right into a tar pit.
So I think that is genuinely neat. It was genuine what I was hoping for.
My ass.
That's less what I was hoping for there. I wonder if you need to...
Rewind is going to be a fool's errand on this one because I have to do it in one.
Yeah, this is probably stage start.
Yeah. So I gotta do it in one.
Yeah. You know this reminds me. It's a very different thing, but it reminds me how some people, when they heard what Metal Gear Solid 4 was gonna be, where you play as old Snake, and some people are like, I don't want to play some geriatric old 4. I want to play as a cool badass. Like, games can be more than that, you know. You can tell more interesting stories about flawed characters, actually. Some of the best stories are because the main characters are flawed and not just amazing badasses that can get for everything. And also, you know, you actually play Metal Gear Solid 4 and the whole him being old thing barely makes any gameplay difference anyway.
Maybe if I shake it in front of him, it'll...
Yeah.
for me.
Put on a show.
All right.
Shake it, baby.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
Oh no, it's still going.
Oh, that's terrifying.
That's so shitty.
I figured that's what was going to happen, though.
No, you don't need to jump all the way to the left. You just need to hang on that one vine.
Yeah.
And then jump backwards when the time...
You know what? I feel like there's a bit in Another World / Out of This World that does this.
Yes, it's the first screen of the game.
Yep.
Ooh, slow down.
You know, that's a game that seems cool, but that one is very... I think it suffers from some of the same problems as this, even.
Yes.
Like, a cool game to watch, but, you know, and I can get into some platformers like this, but I don't think even I could get through that one.
The hint was blue sky, so I think it is the blue torch that you want to... Also, I'm hoping my water is frozen over now, so I'll be back in a minute.
Also, I just realized his
rewind,
regular... Yeah, I realized his regular walk, also his posture has improved.
Yeah, it has.
Oh, look at that.
And I'll say the manual does kind of spoil this, actually. It does say, like, hey, maybe later on he'll, you know, hold his head of pride.
I mean, that's the thing. You know, we saw some of that marketing stuff earlier. That's actually what they should have marketed the game on, is the idea of you making Lester into a hero, as opposed to just being like, check out all this geek action, yeah, gamers.
I wonder if this is the caverns that the manual was talking about as a maze.
Might very well be.
Yeah. Again, I'm worried we are just going to have a proper Super Nintendo platformer maze level. This isn't too bad so far. It's not great.
Honestly, this run is a little dorky too.
I mean, yeah,
Looking at the way his chest is puffed up.
He's getting there. Okay. There's going to be a sequence of those floor panels that are going to open up the doors for you, I imagine.
Yeah. Just gotta find all the right panels. Huh?
There we go.
Now is it timed on top of?
Yeah.
It might be.
I was playing more La Mulana today. It's prepped me for this.
Come on.
Learning how to explore those ancient caverns.
Picky. Okay, I don't think it was timed.
No, thankfully. That would fucking suck.
How do we get down
if it's
there?
timed.
Given just how particular these controls are and positioning is
Yeah.
and so on and so forth.
Like, instinct tells me left, but not sure how much left there is. Alright, I'll open that up again.
How far right can you go?
Aha! Right.
I am seeing the immediate problem here, though, in just, you know, they've got these very limited tiles they're using for this. There's no imagery, landmarks.
Signposting,
Again.
yes.
Yeah, again, helps I was playing La Mulana again, because even though that, again, uses tileset stuff, they make all the rooms look very distinct, even before you have the maps to know what the room names are.
I wonder how that blue torch specifically played into it, because I don't have it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I'm gonna go ahead and ask for a rewind.
Yep, up, and look at that. So it continues to scroll past that. So see if you can just skip these. You see that thing in the center there between the... No.
Oh.
You were close,
wanna
though.
Give this a shot?
Yeah.
Alright.
And then one more time. Yep, nothing to about to set it off now. You only have one health. Yep. So when you jump, you're gonna
Let's
die.
see. We'll test it.
Yeah, might as well test it, yeah.
As soon as it actually lets me make a jump. So no, I didn't die. But I don't know if there's a place I can... I don't think there is a position I can jump where it's going to...
One more try. A
waiting
little
for
bit
it.
more to the left. A little bit more to the left. Yep. Yep. No.
No.
It's at the
All
point
right,
where it's
yep.
just like, yeah, you're gonna have to race against the clock. You can buy yourself a little bit of time by not activating those ones at the start. And I would just continue to work your way down as rapidly as possible.
What was that thing about character growth that you were talking about? Say that again.
I don't think you need to do the hanging on thing, because I don't think this fall damages you anymore.
That I'd be curious about, if his full, like, some of his capabilities also improve.
So, I mean, that fall was never going to hurt me even earlier on. It's just I try to take a more careful approach. Now is not the time to take a more careful approach.
Yeah. But yeah, I would be curious if the game has
As I
like,
take a
hidden...
careful approach.
Oh yeah, by the time you get to this level, Lester's able to survive
I'm
bigger
fucked.
drops. Not take
I
damage like
doubt-
he did from that running ledge grab.
I doubt that's going to be the case.
I gotta play Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness for that.
They could be way more unforgiving about this in particular.
My legs feel stronger.
Yep.
There we go.
See, the
My
timing
Lester.
there gave you enough room for a few errors.
Well,
Ooh, my Lester feels less unlikely.
he wants it.
I still
Needs
love
it.
that animation. Ooh, slippery.
I kind of want to see what happens if the thing bites you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Underwhelming. This
Yeah,
game,
no, it needed death animations. That's a. I was noticing earlier, but it's
Huh,
definitely. I feel like that's something they should have leaned more into.
I swear to God, there's so many times where I'm just hitting this jump button. I wish you could hear my controller, how many times I've hit jump all of these times.
we did say something nice, Joe DeReal. We said it was nice that stage was at least a little more forgiving than
No,
the
I know what I need to do there.
boomerang.
Oh, it's going to be harder right from right there.
Okay, fine. How about here?
Yeah, it's not that
Whee!
hard, but... Ooh, okay.
Swampy Rad says in chat, I love platformers that have teetering off the edge animations. No, they are great. They're always cute when games do that.
For fuck's
Alright.
sake.
Yeah, I don't like that. Because you're technically landing, but because it's like the back of your heel, you fall still.
Something about how the game reads a jump, reads the button to hit jump, is driving me insane.
Remember when I said we
Yes.
wouldn't be rewinding, that we
Fuck.
would just let the game play out as it is? That was a nice dream. Then it turned out the game doesn't fucking control. Okay. Here's where I'm at with
This
this
puzzle would not be an issue if the jump button actually fucking registered.
Yeah. And that's the problem, is that you can't have a game where you're deliberately sabotaging the player in terms of giving them a shitty protagonist, but then also the fundamentals of movement, the fundamentals of inputs also don't work reliably.
It's
Yeah, I
not
wonder what is going wrong with it.
It's not even an issue of how jumping works in terms of its arc or the mechanisms of it. It is literally just reading inputs is the issue I'm having with this jump.
You just can't do any moving jump. You just can't do a moving jump at all, ever. Only the stationary jumps.
Yeah, that seems to be the safest move for this puzzle, yeah.
Problem is, moving jumps are very important in this game.
Not right now, they're not.
Yeah. At least for this segment, the standing ones seem to be the safer option. Not safe, just safer.
There's so many things they could have done to make this less painful. And at some point, the painfulness is a deliberate part of the design on their part. At some point, they made a conscious decision to not tighten things up to an extent where the limited control you have is,
Oh, it doesn't.
And any true blue Aussie would tell you spiders are immune to boomerangs.
Fuck off.
It is.
Did you
If I
lose
was-
3
if I
health
was
for that, or
playing-
just 1?
No, I think Chucky was at 1 at that point because it carries health through some levels.
Yes, it's entirely possible it was an insta kill though, because there's a lot of insta kills in this game.
I'm
yeah, let's
getting
pay
mad
attention.
just watching this at this point.
I mean, I'd get mad if I was playing, but I can definitely appreciate that some of what this game is doing is just... Haha, fuck you. It's again, very, very different game. but when I first got into From Software games, there was like a specific growing period where I
Can you
went
take that
from-
drink now that you're powered up? Do you think you can maybe have 4
No.
health?
No.
Huh.
But I'll
Yeah,
do
'cause
it
it does-
because it's
it
not like I
does-
can go back, but no.
Yeah, it's weird. It does look like there should be a 4th slot. Maybe that's later.
Maybe there's one
So
more stage to
welcome-
his progression.
Mhm.
Lester gets swole
what-
at the end.
That's when we find the a pristine version of the next issue of the comic, and we see post malted alligator girl, and our eyes bug out, and we go, "Awooga!" That's when we get that.
That's a great spider sprite there.
Punished for standing still.
For walking into the boss arena and then standing still. Why did it make an eagle noise?
Yeah, what's going on here? Oh, it's secretly an eagle. It's just pretending to be a spider. So I just want to say a quick
I don't know
shout
what to
out.
tell.
I see Kenny Wright in chat saying, finally caught one of these lives. Live, want to be watching the YouTube VODs. And of course, live. Hey, appreciate it. Welcome.
Wait a
Hope
minute.
you have a good time. As unlikely as that would seem. Hey. Oh,
Okay,
it
But-
drops so fast.
but is it now on a cycle where it's gonna? No, it's not.
Nope.
Okay. All right, you might as well rewind me to when I had 3. All right.
Oh. Okay, I'm not going to spoil this yet.
By doing something wrong, is that why you said that?
Potentially.
Not like I can duck when I have that. It just seems like the timing's tight.
And they don't give you a cue for when it's dropping. It's just a timing thing. It's
No.
just like keeping rhythm.
Yeah.
You know, the audio cue, whatever weird like eagle cue, should play right before they're about to drop, so that way you can sort of predict in some
Yeah.
capacity. Like now.
I mean, the one thing you know at least is if you're running at full speed, it will miss you.
I don't think it's necessarily timing because I don't think it's consistent.
That'd be even fucking worse if it wasn't consistent.
Maybe it is consistent and I'm off.
And the problem with the running is that to stop and turn around and toss the boomerang takes longer than
Mm-hmm.
when you're just walking, so
I will save you some pain here though. Maybe it's optional. I don't think fighting this spider is the optimal path here.
Oh, I need to
This is a
befriend it.
present from me to you.
I wish.
Thank you for the anonymous gift sub. Enjoy that gift sub. And hey, you
Yeah,
could join the
yeah.
Discord to take advantage of that. Cass, why don't you tell them about that?
Discord.gg/BGHUF, a community of connoisseurs. And if you happen to have a gift sub or an active subscription across Patreon, Twitch, YouTube, et al., you will gain access to a Patreon Saints channel where you can vote in polls to determine our playthroughs, make suggestions, help steer the direction of the show, and gain access to exclusive content. I'm betting the solution to this. I'm betting what Johnny was insinuating is that you just need to use the boomerang on the webbing at the end.
Yep.
Okay. Let me.
Again, maybe you can beat this spider.
There's no feedback on that.
Well, aside from the sound it makes.
I
Oh
see
my
now.
blinks.
god. That's not enough. That just isn't enough.
So you meant on the door. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little hard to notice.
I don't think it's open yet.
Let
Yeah.
me see. I
It's
would
open
be
now?
curious if you
Nope.
can beat the spider.
It's a bad position for that one.
Okay, at least this one guide I found claims that no, the spider cannot be killed. And if that's the case, I think that don't show it.
Ah,
Whoa! Holy shit!
Yeah, no
Begins at that.
time. At least the cheetah stage gave you like a little bit of fucking warning.
But yeah, if the guide I've read is correct that boss spider can't be killed, then I think it's bad that you can hit it and it blinks and makes an eagle sound.
Yeah. It's mixed
Yeah, most
messaging.
people...
Fuck.
Yeah. It would take you a very long time of trial and error, especially if you didn't have the level select code of, well, how many hits does this boss take? Maybe it just takes 20 hits, because some games were like that back then, like where bosses took a lot of hits to take down in platformers. Didn't have the rule free as consistently.
Like, ultimately, that's like, structurally
No,
a
I
huge
already
problem.
fucked up.
Yep, can't jump on those. Structurally, is a huge problem with this game. Is just the way that the lack of passwords, the expectation that you will, like, they built this with, a limited number of stages, with the idea that you would replay the stages and master them. Is what they're ultimately doing. That you trial and error, you get up to the point that you died, that you couldn't figure it out, and by that point you're mastering the previous levels, you're mastering the approach, so you have that many more lives and that many more continues to work with by the time you make it to the spot where you got hung up earlier. So you have that many more attempts to solve the puzzle, as it were. And to me, that's a very antiquated design. It's a very old school mentality.
Yeah.
And
it's also
this is also an old game, so
it is. But for 94 or 93, I should say, whatever year it came out in, a little too old.
Yeah, no, totally fair.
But by
'cause-
this point, we had passwords.
Oh.
Passwords would have been consistent at this point.
Yeah, Super Mario World, you could straight up fucking save. You saved my life!
No,
no,
other way around.
you saved my
Really?
life. I could kiss you.
Oh, no, you don't.
I think it's still you.
Whoops, I mean...
I'm
I'm gonna keep following
Nope,
you.
yep.
Yeah, it's hard to say who's.
Oh
who's
my
talking
god!
here,
Okay,
sorry.
from the top.
We're all
Charkie, go.
speaking in unison. You saved my life. I could kiss you.
Oh no, you don't. No, that's Charkie. That's you.
Okay,
Oops,
fine.
I mean, yep.
Oops, I mean...
I'm gonna keep following you to make sure you stay out of trouble.
Wow, your voice changed. No way. I'm going down to that pirate ship dock below. You better go back to the village.
Don't worry, the pirates will never see me. I grew up on this island,
Hey, that was my line.
Shut up.
You can.
It's still confusing, though, to just have, like...
It's
Yeah, they should have the fucking
Yes.
names in front of the dialogue, but it also was very obvious that there were spaces
Or they
between
could've-
each of the line breaks.
Or they could have done, like, the voice bubble thing they've been doing for the entire rest of the
Yeah.
game.
also that cutscene confused me a bit because she's already kissed him,
Yeah.
so that was throwing me off as well.
I also... The thing is, oops, I mean, could have been her being like, wait, I shouldn't be a jerk to this guy who's trying to rescue my father.
That's how
That
I
is
read
what
that.
confused me. It sounded like a continued thought.
Smooth.
Shut up. Down, please. Can you not hang down from this? All right. I'm onto you.
Nope, they're
Just
just...
bastard.
Oh, come... Yeah, use it.
Again, there's a part of me that can appreciate that kind of design.
Okay.
Not the way you would have played this back in the day on actual hardware with the fucking limited continues and all that.
No
But
jumping.
it's
Just run straight
Yeah.
across it.
I saw that.
yeah, it's interesting
Come
having that one developer who's like, yeah, don't want to talk about it. Because I don't know, I would have thought some developer on this game would have come out and said, yeah, no, we knew we were making
was the-
something a bit trolly.
That was the thing. Okay.
Like,
I
the
know you-
impression that I got from the motion capture actor, the Eric Browning, from that SNES Central interview. I'm trying to load up in the background, but the website that it's on is taking a minute to load. And I will rewind you in a second once I get my fucking quote up. Okay.
Let me get my drink here.
One of those games that starts out way too ambitious and ends up merely adequate is how Eric Browning describes this game. So I'm thinking what that line would lead me to believe more is that, you know, they had an intention for this design, something to where, like, maybe, like, over the course of the game, there are more stages of him growing up. Maybe it's a more organic, you know, process of him becoming more empowered as a protagonist. Maybe they meant they wanted to have, like, a larger game, more options in terms of, like, you know, like, attack potentialities, more in the way of puzzle solving. It's hard to say. You know, it's a very short, ambiguous quote, but...
Yeah.
What it points to, what you can take away from it, is that whatever this is a compromised version of what they had in mind.
Oh. Also, I wasn't expecting Yaha matey pirates. Maybe I should have. I don't know why in my head I was thinking it was going to be modern day pirates.
I mean, now he's ready to kill. Like, this is death.
You fight like a dairy farmer.
Also, I feel like the boomerang was safer, but oh well.
Yeah. Also, yeah, he's just fucking killing people now.
The confidence to kill.
You know, as uncomfy was in the first level, I'm glad when he, you know, was talking to the lady, even then he was still like, no, I can do this.
When I saw in the manual that this was going to have sword fighting, and like the sword fighting was tied to 3 different buttons, I was worried it was going to be like some really parry-heavy technical stuff. But no, all the buttons just do that one slice.
Yeah. Because, like Prince of Persia is way more technical. I'd even say in terms of like this being less than its ambition, like some of the tile sets are definitely very simple and repetitive. But I don't know, we're seeing a lot. Maybe the game was meant to be longer, or maybe they did want it to have the more complicated Prince of Persia style combat. You know, classic 2D Prince of Persia, though. I'm glad it's honestly simplified.
Yeah.
You fight like a dairy farmer.
How appropriate. You fight like Lester the Unlikely. Wait.
Yeah, turn around.
That animation and the music, I feel like he's doing the waltz step. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And he's smart. He puts the sword away before doing the jump so he doesn't drop it and impale himself.
I mean, I hate that. I hate that it's not just a button to immediately attack.
Yeah.
I hate that it's that you have to draw your weapon
thanks.
in the first place. That it's a stance system like this. That it's not just dedicated attack button.
That's Prince of Persia.
Yeah, I know, and bad lessons to take away from that. Yeah. Or I mean, if this game
actually,
is...
I mean, that's not bad. That's just the style of the game. That is like
cut the rope.
Yeah.
You scurvy sea dog. There you go. I think that's why I ended up liking the Sands of Time, because it's clearly inspired, and, you know, even had Jordan Mechner working on it. But those kind of lessons were learned of just, yeah, you don't need a stance button, and it is more fun to have, like, optional ways to... Like, some of the platforming you can do in different ways than the ways they intend, and things like that. Took decades, but we got there. Someone did learn some lessons.
This dude's just blowing up his own ship. No wonder there's holes all over the place.
Yeah, the pirates at this point, like, he's too dangerous.
Yar, she loved me not. She loved me not. Who? Okay. I didn't think he had turnaround tech.
I just love the lore that the pirates see Lester like this such a threat now that they'd risk blowing up their own ship just to take you down.
I mean, these are barely firecrackers with the explosions that they're doing.
Yeah, I guess they just don't actually have that much gunpowder. How many sticks of dynamite do we have? 50! How much gunpowder do we have? 50 grams. Oh.
You're not even bothering to climb up the mast and see if there's any, like, items or stuff up there.
Yeah, why bother?
Maybe Lester's... Well, you
know what?
He's
For you,
getting
I'll climb up
over
this
his
one.
fear of heights, yeah.
Lester's more, as they always say.
Nope.
Very cool. Why even have
And it
it?
spawned that guy. Like, maybe somewhere on there is, like, a health canteen. Or maybe we'll get to the end and it's like, you need the key.
Yeah.
It's in one of the 50 crow's nests on this ship.
Yeah. Anyone in chat who's played this? How does this compare to Assassin's Creed 4 Resynced? What's the better pirate game? Should this have been resynced?
They should have a Lester skin in that game for... I don't remember your main character, but for him.
Edward
Conway.
Conway?
Sounds right.
Yeah, no, Carnby's the
Yes,
the dark guy.
Yes.
Tim Rod says that this game would be resynced. I would say resynced because it's about, a boat sinking in pirates. Tanya Cat asked, is Ubisoft still making that Skull and Bones game? Did that came out? Yeah, it came out and was immediately forgotten, immediately ignored.
It's still online.
That was one of those games that legally had to come out.
Yeah, so some folks in our Discord were talking about it, that the Singapore government have some stake in it. So it had to come out.
It's the same situation, I believe, that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is in, because that has French government funding.
Yeah, that seems to be more speculation, but that might explain the sunken cost fallacy with that game. I know of one, Homefront: The Revolution. The reason that came out is because when, is it Embracer who brought the studio from Crytek?
That would have been real early for Embracer.
Yeah, but apparently there's a UK law when you do that, when you like buy stuff because of bankruptcy, things like that, you're not allowed to just cancel the project and fire everyone. You have to finish it. So that game was legitimately made under threat of like legal troubles, which is really funny.
The level of design at this point, by the way, this is pathetic. They've given up.
Yeah.
They stopped giving a shit at this point.
They want you to like really consider the monster that Lester has become in this power fantasy.
Man, this really is like
the line.
This is like Far Cry 3. Hot damn.
Cass, I have been holding on that joke for an hour.
Oh, I know.
I was waiting. When's the best time to say this? For me to say
you missed your fucking
Cass,
shot.
This is the game that Far Cry 3 wanted to be.
You took too long.
And yeah. Story of my life.
Can you go in?
It's just there's so many parallels. There's the island lady.
Probably here though.
That you're being manipulating and rescuing. She's gonna turn into a giant demon at the end, and you're gonna have to fight her. Sorry.
I don't think that's how 3 ended. I don't
remember
it does.
That being... Yeah, there's two possible routes, and one of them, you side with her, and then she betrays you. And if you like call her out on it, she becomes like a big god thing you fight. It's weird.
I think that's the ending I got. I feel like I should be able to get the water with this thing.
I think it's Grog, specifically because it has the 3 X's on it.
Okay, yeah. There we go. It's Mike's hard water. Right? I'm sure that'll be useful. Perhaps right in here.
Or here. Or here.
Or here. Or here. It's definitely not going to be this one.
I'll say for the music, I like some of the compositions, but they had a very limited sound font.
And they sure didn't know how to use it. Yeah, the music in this game has been awful. The sound design in general has been really bad.
I like some of the melodies. I'm not gonna say they're good. They're just charming enough that I can forgive them, but I definitely wish they had tried some different instrumentation for some of these songs.
We have time to like arrest all pacing or whatever this is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I saw that barrel back there that didn't have the triple X. I'm assuming that there's something else I need to do. But if not, then I'll go take... Yeah, I think it might just be take the triple X and put it into the not triple X.
spike their drinks, I guess.
Okay, well, I will tell you there's something you do with that cannon, but there's another item you need that I need to find out about. Give me a little bit here.
I mean, there's...
Aha! We're going to run into that problem again where it's very unclear what items you can interact with.
Yeah, I'm starting to pick up on that.
Yeah, so I'll give you a hint. It's not in the room. It's outside.
Well, now I have a thing of just normal ass water.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't figured out what that's for yet.
You push the cannon.
Oh, yeah, you push the cannon.
The other way.
But you'll need to do something to a cannon to make it a fire.
Trying to think what even... Where would I even put this cannon? I can't push it more to the right. Ah! Well, let's just set that up then. Actually, Cass, you have a controller plugged in?
Yes, I do.
Do you mind just pushing that over?
Okay.
The top button is push if you hold that down and move.
Top button.
So, it's triangle, you know.
Okay, gotcha. Oops. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just want to get a drink here real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
I believe you want to position it for this door.
Well, I'm thinking that I would use the... Yep.
Yes, yeah.
There we go.
There you go. And now you might want to...
I want to go get that ladle.
Don't, yeah, well, actually, you can rewind, so, yeah, do go in.
Or that, okay, you want to die, or do you want to...
You want to die?
Well, let's see. Let's see what happens. Wee.
Funny meeting you here.
Well, I'm out of here.
So they really are committed to just blowing up their boat, huh? They really just don't want...
Yeah.
All right, I can take it over from here.
All right, very good. Make sure to get the spoon again, wherever
Yeah,
that
well,
may
you have
have
the spoon
dropped.
outside.
Yep.
So what's up with the fuse on that TNT? How slow is it?
Slow
Oh
enough.
wait, hold
burning?
up. Do we want to die?
Is there even a way to die there?
I bet
Yeah,
there
that
is.
That
No,
I
you need the
don't know.
water.
You'll have to-
The triple X will probably blow it up.
That's how we would die. I was saying,
Oh,
do you want
yeah.
to see that?
Yeah, let's do that. Why not, right?
Yeah. Honestly, we should actually, considering
Bad ending.
what I'm saying.
God.
Oh yeah, I know where we're
It's
at.
so fucking particular about where you need to be
I
standing.
don't know how
for-
you're the one getting real angry at this game when I'm the one who's been playing the whole thing.
'Cause I'm getting mad on behalf of consumers who may have been fleeced into buying this. I don't know. I guess they got
Well,
what they deserved. I guess, it's a comedy game.
Look, I'm not clumsy in real life, so
You know what? I was kind of hoping for an earth-shattering kaboom. But,
Yeah, I was kind of hoping for a cutaway to some, like, the boat
yeah.
completely blowing up.
like the guy they were holding hostage was fine afterwards. Hector is his name. I just remembered.
Yes.
Yeah, no, if like there are many things this game can improve on. The two big issues would be not even having a live system and not capitalizing on doing cool game over animations, which I feel like was actually a trope of this genre.
Yes.
So now more and more I'm seeing what I comment about the ambition not being met.
Not me.
I'll do it. Dora Tika, introduce me to the brave young man who rescued me from those pirates.
Father, this is Lester the invincible.
I'm pleased to meet you, sir. But, I'd really like to get back home.
Well, our island is far off the regular shipping routes, and we have no phones or radios, but don't worry. I'll think of something. First, let's return to the village, and have a proper celebration.
Please play the entire game in reverse.
Yeah. On behalf of the whole island, I present you with this most seaworthy surfboard. Duke Kananamoku himself gave it to me when I was just a boy.
Kahanamoku.
Look at those buff lads over the right.
Yeah.
Gee, thanks everyone. But how will this get me home? What the fuck?
Just an atomic test nearby Bikini Atoll. Don't worry, we're safe. The giant waves sure are a big nuisance, though. So, I guess that tells you where this game takes place.
Hey, I know what you can do. Paddle out and catch a wave. It will take you all the way back home to the mainland, Shaka Bra.
Hey, great idea. Thanks. So long. I think it's stuck. And then, what happened, Lester? Oh wait, this is not a narrator.
And then what happened, Lester?
Lester? It's both of them in
Then
unison.
this gigantic hairy spider? That's it, just gigantic hairy spider. The end.
Done deal.
Done deal.
So that's the fucking end?
Yeah.
That's it.
You notice how different... Oh. Okay, so I think the implication is the real Lester is nothing like the character we played as, because, you know, the actual guy looked, you know, like beach surfer dude. You know, like the mohawk.
I think his clothes and stuff. Okay, wait. One of two things. One, oh no, I know what it is. That's just like a flash forward. He's telling the ladies like his adventures in the past. Like once he got back and he got like all like proud and like accomplished, he became something. He worked out and all that.
You ascribe to the theory that this was all real and this truly happened.
Thank you for the 10, I believe, gift subs, Blah Hats.
Yeah, thank you very much, Blah Hats. Now, see, that's the deep. That's why this game's unappreciated, because you can read it both ways. Like he might have just been telling stories.
All right, what kind of a story would this punky beach guy be telling these ladies if he was making up a story about? Did I tell you about how I was a pathetic piece of shit?
For Lisa, John, and Liz Wolfick, with love. Cute. Watch for Lester. He will be back. He wasn't.
Hey, the universe hasn't exploded yet. There's still time.
In their hearts, do you think they actually had a plan for like, we got a sequel idea?
Yeah, what if he starts cool, then he needs to become a nerd? What if he needs to pass, like, the bar, and so he needs to get rid of his muscles and start, like, cracking and, like, you know, fucking studying for exams. Get back to the old him.
Yeah, no, the idea of them wanting to do a sequel to this, that might be the wildest thing we've seen today.
I think this might be one of those games that once you hit the end of the credits, it's like, turn off your console.
Or go get your camera so you can take a picture.
Take a photo of the screen.
To your friends. Yep. Again, bring it back. I know it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I did hit buttons.
Yep. I just,
Also, you say bring it back. Consoles now have a take a picture of this button.
I know, but make it more inconvenient. I mean, that's what consoles are into now.
That's what the Switch is for.
Yeah.
Well, I reset it so that we can have something going on in the background. Give me a second to, like, you know, turn the audio down further. We can hear
Lester scream at the start. Once we get past this part. There we go.
Well, with that all said and done, it is time to give our final thoughts on this here game. Johnny, why don't you kick it off?
Sure. I think unlike some of the general like first glance reaction, I don't think this is a bad idea on paper. I do think the idea of playing with the genre, the idea of looking at this style of game, the rotoscoped precision platformer, and playing into the awkwardness and having some kind of cheeky troll like obstacles and things like that. I get the pseudo masochist enjoyment out of stuff like that. But this game, there's definitely execution issues in it. One of them being literally the execution of inputs that seems to break half the time. But ultimately, and I could see why this game has a life system, because it turns out it's really fucking short. They really did not make much of a game here. And like making it short and some of the very simple progression, not
Prince
picking
of
up
Persia had
items.
an hour-long time limit on it.
Yep. Yeah. But there's parts of this I can appreciate, but I definitely think overall it doesn't quite land its execution. But I do think it deserves a more thorough look than the kind of cursory look people get where they just go, oh, you play as like a shitty dweeb, and it he gets scared of heights and enemies, and what's up with that? Like, that's when I thought the game was at its smartest, is messing with the expectations and the visual communication they were doing to the player without having the character spell it out to you. If this was a voice character that was walking around going, oh, I don't want to do that, that would be the horrible take on this. It has some neat ideas, and it's a shame that there's just the visceral negative reaction to it. I guess the silver lining is that, probably not directly, but just parallel thinking, that there's been modern takes on some of the overall principles of this that have worked. To make a game that messes with the player, that plays around with the idea of a protagonist that doesn't quite control well, but not in an unfair way that sometimes Lester has to deal with. But yeah, they're underbaked, unfortunately, of its overall ideas.
All right, I guess I'll take my turn now. I think this game came out too early. That's my big thought, is that this is a game that would have worked better in the console generation to follow, and I'll get into that, why I say that. I think the neatest thing this game does is the point midway through where your stance changes. I think what this game needed to really succeed was a more gradual process of like some sort of like transitionary thing, something using keyframes where you start the game completely awkward, and then as time goes on, as you build like some sort of meter in the background, you gain your confidence as the adventure goes on. So rather than having a milestone moment, your stance, your jump, your gait, all these things just sort of gradually improve over time. And maybe tied to some meter. Maybe have an actual on-screen meter. Maybe have like something that you're doing where you can choose to play the coward's way, to play Lester's way, or otherwise choose to be brave. Have some sort of like decision-making impact how quickly you grow, or if you grow at all. Maybe tie endings to that. I don't know. I feel like these are options they would have had maybe a few years down the line with the benefit of more space to work with more fluid animation. And, I also think that, a 3D platformer would have probably suited this style of island adventure better. I think the side-scrolling view did not lend itself to this. I think there were a lot of issues with the parallax layers and just the level design in general. But, that's all nitpicking. When I could really be tearing into this for the fact it just doesn't fucking control. That's like problem numero uno, is that even when you reach that point where Lester has his confidence, he has his swagger back and so on and so forth, there's still just so many issues with input, so many issues with the level design being so fucking exacting and demanding, the amount of trial and error, the expectation that you'll replay the game potentially dozens, if not hundreds of times, banging your head up against the parts that are made deliberately, and it is deliberate, to make these things so fucking precise, to make them so mean in the way that they are, to make it that, rather than, when you jump the vines, I think the vine jumping in particular is one of the worst parts of this game. It's one of the absolute meanest factors in it, and just the precision in which you need to land so particularly on the vine, when really, you could just grab anywhere on the vine. You could shimmy up and down, just having like a little bit extra control. That's nothing that would be beyond Lester, as unlikely a hero as he may be. I think it's a thing where they committed so hard to the idea of making him such an unlikely, pathetic, like worm of a hero, that they forgot to add in functionality that he really should have, that he really desperately needs. They wanted to have their cake and eat it too, as far as making it like a brutalist game in terms of difficulty, but also not giving you the adequate control in order to like overcome those obstacles, to be able, as a player, for you to master it in the same way that Lester masters and conquers his fears. There needs to be some sort of path to you as a player conquering the controls, learning exactly how they work, and having a good grasp on them by the end of the game, because that's ultimately like what they were trying to do here. What I think the ultimate thesis and message of the game is that through adversity, through trial and error, through banging your head against something, a dweeb can become a hero, that a nerd can succeed. And, on some level, Lester is the player. Not just in the sense that, you are playing as Lester, that he's the player character in this game, but it is a sort of commentary on the sort of nerd who fucking plays video games. That's what they were going for. That's not very subtle in my mind. And the idea of it is if you were put in the same situation as Lester, this is what it would be like for you. It'd be pretty fucking tough. You wouldn't be able to immediately intuitively do these things in the way that the platforming stars, that the Prince of Persia himself does so seamlessly. The problem with that is that what it requires is you as a player being able to get that grasp on the controls, to be able to master them, to be able to be rewarded for banging your head against it. And it just doesn't do that because the controls are so inadequate that there's just no way to get it down to where it's consistent because of the frames of animation, because of the slavish devotion to the startup frames and to the pixel precision platforming, and how many opportunities you're put in where you have such little reaction time, where you need to play perfectly according to the developers' expectations and designs, that you need to get exactly on the same wavelength, same timing as they are. And that's just not something you can detect, not something you can pick up on, not something you can get in tune with so easily in this game that is like fundamentally lacking in design, that is fundamentally undercooked, that is just intrinsically kind of like below par in terms of the work that went into it. And, whether that's an issue of budget, time, whether their ambitions were too big for them, whether the ambitions that they talk about were just something they could never truly encompass, that they were just incapable of rising to that challenge, or if they got shut down because of time and money and whatever, because of constraints that were placed on them by external factors, we don't know. I think this is the sort of game where I would love to see someone interviewed now about it. Those websites we linked to, that SNES Central article was a 2016 article, I believe, so it was 10 years ago, where Eric Browning barely wanted to talk about the game. The Pangea Software website, Brian Greenstow's official website, does update on occasion, but the page in which he mentions Lester the Unlikely is like some hidden page on the website that it's very hard to even locate, that, I only found because there's a direct link to it that I found, but otherwise it's inaccessible from the rest of the website, so that's curious. But ultimately, it leads me to believe that he didn't update that page in a while. That maybe that's like 10, 20 years out of date. By the way, on that page, some other games that Brian Greenstone went on to work on. We mentioned Claymates earlier, the platforming squeakquel, or predecessor to Clay Fighter. But did you know that this man is also responsible for the programming on Mario's Fun with Numbers, Fun with Letters, and Preschool Fun on the Super Nintendo, as well as Steel Harbinger for the PlayStation 1. So I
actually did know that, but that's because I work on the show.
Yes. So this man will appear again on this program for some of his works, for some of his contributions to the industry. But, despite all of that, I find it hard to have complete hatred in my heart for this. As mad as it made me watching it, just knowing what Charkie was going through. To be clear, like, I wasn't mad at Charkie. I hope Charkie realizes that. I hope the audience at home realizes that without me having to fucking explain it. But I'm mad at the game for the bullshit it pulls, and understanding that Charkie's issues were just like inputs being dropped and not functioning. I know that is squarely the problem of the game and not of the player.
You had to get mad because I don't get mad.
Yes. And so even with those moments of frustration, I still appreciate this game as trying to subvert the form in some sort of way, that it is trying to poke fun at what was then an established genre, a subgenre of platformer. This game was about to come out on the Atari Jaguar at a point in time, by the way, but that got canceled. I forgot to mention that earlier. What I also wanted to mention was that Nintendo Power reviewed this back in the day. I actually don't have the score in front of me right now. But something they mentioned was that they celebrate the game as a bizarre but fun twist to an overused genre. Actually, you know what? That's not a Nintendo Power quote. That's a quote from Video Games magazine, which rated the game an 8 out of 10. So sorry about that. Misattributed there for a second. But yeah, so whoever reviewed that, whoever that penned that review, gave it a pretty generous score. It's a 4 out of 5, effectively. And, calling this genre overused, this particular style of platformer, to call it out and to recognize this as being parodical of that, of being a deliberate twist, a twist of the knife even, to say, like, hey, ain't this style of game fucking played out? What if we just took it to the most logical extreme of giving you the most pathetic particular protagonist to play as, and how would that play out? And we get the answer here. We see it in front of us here, and the answer is that it's ultimately pretty frustrating more than it is funny. I think a more modern take on this game would probably be a lot like Pole's Adventure no Daiboken, the WiiWare game, famous bit of bakage, in the style of like 8-bit platformers where it's very gag centric, where every encounter, every opportunity, every like death trap is paired with a comedy bit. Is paired with literal on screen the very bespoke sprites. Like, you take a mushroom and you get a heart on in that game, right? And then there's a panel of commentators, of Japanese commentators, who are doing audio commentary over the game, being like, "Oh my god, he's got a huge dick!" Like that sort of thing. That would be how you approach this game now. Is that it'd be more overtly comedy in that sort of way, and that all the opportunities for death would, one, have bespoke death animations as gags, and two, would also be played up to the extent that instead of death feeling like a punishment and losing so much progress because of the lack of checkpoints, because of the lack of continues, because of the way this game is structured, instead of that, just enjoying the deaths, getting a laugh out of the ways in which you can die. That would take a huge sting, just having an infinite number of lives in which to bang your head against it and to experience the gags. And that's I Want to Be the Guy. That's Siobhan No Action. That's how a number of the Massacre type games or parodies thereof operate nowadays. And so this game is definitely, if not a generation removed, is 20 years removed from when it would have been more appropriate to make a game like this. And so in that way, it is a progenitor, it is a predecessor, it is a prototype of those sorts of games. It is forward thinking, but at the same time, it's clear that Visual Concepts just did not have the skill, just did not have the competency to make this game in such a way that it fulfills those ambitions, fulfills those promises, and lives up to their expectation, that it lives up to the vision they had for it. This is very clearly off the mark. It is very clearly missed the mark. I'd give this a 2 out of 5. Would be very generous. Probably more like a 1 out of 5. If I actually had to play it, I'd probably be way madder at this than I am right now. But I think there is a world, I think there is a demographic, I think there is an audience for this game that will appreciate it and won't mind the trial and error of it. That you could have gotten your money's worth out of this game back in the day if you had a very particular perspective on it. Especially if you're someone who had mastered the likes of a Prince of Persia and, were more equipped for this type of control and level design, that maybe you'd get more of a kick out of it. But ultimately not for me, and I'm curious to hear what Charkie has to say.
Well, two things that aren't related to my thoughts on the game that I just wanted to bring up. Because you mentioned reviews and stuff. and I wanted to see what Famitsu reviewed this game. I think if I know the system of Famitsu correctly, and I've added this up, I think they got a 24, which is abysmal, right? For Famitsu?
24 out of 40. Yeah, that's pretty fucking low.
Yeah. But apparently in Japan, the game is called Odekake Lester Lelele no Le, which, interesting. I wonder what that means.
Yeah.
I wonder what Lelele no Le even possibly means. Anyway, so, hey, YouTube, let us know. Anyway, I am okay in general with these kind of Prince of Persia style games, this methodical platformer. It's not my favorite genre, but I can meet it halfway. I can appreciate what it's trying to do in general. And of this game, I do kind of appreciate what it's trying to do. Like, there were a lot of times where, like, I died, and I was like, well, of fucking course. And, like, that it's a moment where, in this kind of game where you run directly into a trap, and you either, A, realize now that was a trap, so it was like a blind trap. It's like, okay, I guess you got me. Or there was a sign there, and I was in such a rush that I got hit by it anyway. It's like, okay, I fell for like the Wile E. Coyote painted tunnel in the wall kind of thing. Like, specifically that one part where there was a snake hanging above a canteen, and I just went straight for the canteen. I was like, yeah, of course that happened. But I come at this saying, like, this is the genre, and it rubs some people the wrong way, but it's fine as it is. And I'll say overall, my overall opinion on this is, I think in a perfect world, this is a mediocre game. I don't think it's great, but I think it does some things competently enough for what it is. And I think that a lot of what I've heard of the ire towards this game, or at least the ire towards like the concept of this game, when people talking about like, have you seen this Lester Unlikely thing, is looking at the wrong things. Like, this was brought up earlier about, oh, he's like this nerdy character, like he's supposed to be like this loser, like, why would you play a game like that? Well, because it's different. Like, because like as you progress in the game, you get to a point where he does become brave, and that's kind of like the point. It's also the point that it's just funny to play as a loser to a certain degree. People are saying like, oh, he runs away scared from like a crab and from like a ledge, and you can't control anymore. Why would the game take away control from you? It's tutorializing you. There is a very specific purpose to this thing. I think that's the thing I hear complain about most, is that people say like the game will take control away from you. It doesn't do it very often, and it's doing it for a very specific reason of like, hey, this is a dangerous situation, and you should watch out for it. In the second level, I think there were those totems, those tiki totem things, and he acted scared the first two times. The first time was the runaway scared, and the second time was the apprehension scared. But there was like no actual danger. The third time we came across tikis that did obviously look different, they were a danger. So the game was like telling you like, hey, it might not seem like it now, but this is dangerous. There is a threat of death here. And I think that is like an interesting thing this game does. I think this game does a number of interesting things like that. The problem with this game is the lives and just the method of input. Like, and I'm going to start with input because I pressed the jump button about 7 or 8 times more than I actually ever jumped in this game. I was hammering that button so many times to just make a jump happen. Like, the actual mechanics of jumping, of your jump distance, of like the difference between like a standing jump to a moving jump, a forward jump to a running jump, like that's all fine. I understand that, but it took so many presses just to get it to register. Like, it is already like a late register because of the animation stuff. You already do have to get used to the fact that you're pressing this button way earlier than you think you're supposed to. But they were just so many times where it was like just eating my inputs, and I could not do anything about it. And I felt like it must have looked like I was just like sleepwalking and just walking directly off of ledges and just absolutely like sandbagging and not paying any attention. It's like, no, I wanted to like turn off the filter on my microphone just so you could hear all the tapping I was doing to try and make anything happen. That is absolutely killer for something that's supposed to be like a methodical and precision platformer. The fact that the button don't work, that's an issue. And yeah, I think this game could have done entirely without lives and without continues, because we would have been here if we weren't rewriting. We would have been here a very, 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 very long time playing this. There are specific parts in the game that are very clear, like filters, that are very clearly moments of like, this is where your run is going to stop, because you're going to have to deal with this thing. You're going to have to play through the entire level again to get to this thing, to figure out what you did wrong again. And by the time you get through that, you're going to burn through like most of your lives and have to start over. Even with like the level code, if you happen to have like a game person that told you, you would have to play through a significant chunk of level over and over again to figure it out. The first instance, the vine, is a real big example of that. I think the start of the lava chase compared to the start of the leopard chase is another example. Like, because that lava chase starts immediately. So if you don't figure that out immediately, there goes a life. That's part of the filter. Like I said, the vine thing, like if you, like me, couldn't figure out that you have to hit exactly on like the tip of the vine, which requires a real early jump, that's a filter, because you're going to have to keep doing that over and over again until you run out of lives. I think, and this is where I say, like, in the best world, this would be a mediocre game. Because if there were no lives and you could just restart that one level over and over again as, you know, you run out, maybe put in like a mid... I don't even know if you need a mid-level checkpoint, because the levels are so short. But, you know...
It could have done with them. At least one checkpoint per level. At least one. Possibly,
but maybe not even for every level, because some of those levels are really short. But, what's I saying? I think, like, if we were playing a game where there was no concern about lives or continues, and if we were playing a game where the input worked, that this would be a perfectly mediocre game in this genre that had some good ideas in terms of like theming, in terms of like presentation, like you know, becoming more confident like halfway through the game, and also, you know, the being scared mechanic as a way of teaching you stuff. That's cool. The rest of it kind of mediocre, but man, a game like this where the button just don't work, that's killer. That's fucked up. I like it. Like, damn, I wish this. If those two things were there, this would be a way better game. And even by way better, I mean it would be mediocre, but it would be fine. It would be worth like a quick playthrough. But if you're gonna play this, emulate it, save state or rewind, because there's just too much bullshit. Just even in terms of like the basic function of controlling the game, there's too much bullshit to put up with to have to deal with 3 lives and 3 continues. So yeah, I definitely think it could have been better, but I don't think it's necessarily. In a way, it's not as bad as people say it is, but it's pretty bad in ways that people don't necessarily talk about a lot.
Yeah, that's one thing I want to add is, yeah, it's like the narrative around this game, I think, is wrong. It definitely has issues. It's definitely an overall flawed game, but not the things people focus on are not its main issues. In fact, the main issues are its attempts to be a conventional game, whereas the ones it does to buck that are actually the more inventive and interesting ideas. But yeah, shame like that's the stuff that drags this down. Because yeah, just what this game was trying to do, especially in its early on, and with that mid-game kind of confidence boost part, I like it in the principle of it. It's just it's executed so shoddily.
There is discussion brewing about the AVGN, and this is something we talk about, pretty frequently on the show about, the the angry reviews, and especially the AVGN, the old AVGN, the way he used to, get, the first 30 minutes of a game effectively, never address the whole thing, hyperbolic all the way through, very little nuance, and people whose opinions are entirely informed by, if not just copied verbatim, from third-hand, fourth-hand commentary on it, from watching the AVGN riff on someone else's gameplay footage, because remember, James wasn't playing most of those games. And that's a legitimately a problem. That is a legit problem. That's a legit issue of people who don't actually engage with these games and who don't know the full story, who don't realize that the real issues with this game are not the ones covered in the AVGN episode. He never makes it to the village. He never buffs up. He never gets to the point of the game where where the controls sort of straighten up and they drop the hesitation and stuff from the character, and it becomes just an issue of input, like Charkie and I have been saying. And that would have been more
thing that specifically in that review that I remember very clearly was a lot of stress put on the seagull in the first level, how it carries you all the way back, and how that it's an asshole move. And yeah, it is an asshole move that the game does, and it never does it again. That's the only part of the game where something happens and it punishes you by slowly dragging you all the way back. But I think when you have something like the AVGN that only gives you the most narrow slice of a game, that some people extrapolate that, it must be like this forever.
That's just a structural issue with that older style of content and people misunderstanding what that character is. And, the fact that there's still morons to this day who are doing that exact style of review, having not evolved. Even James has evolved more than some of his, imitators, some of his most obnoxious and irritating derivatives. But that's a story for another day. That's the story for another time. I just want to say that, a game like this is worth playing just to understand where it goes wrong, to appreciate what they were trying to do, but at the same time recognize what mistakes were made in that process from the developer end, to recognize that you do need to, in the case of some games, play them through to completion to fully understand what is wrong with them, that the first 30 minutes are not always an indicator of how the rest of the game goes. That's why I was so pleased to see there was a moment in this game where the tide turns, where the control fundamentally changes, where your stance changes. I thought that was neat, and it was what I was hoping for, and I didn't expect to happen, just based on that prior knowledge of the game, but the fact that it does was pleasing, and it's unfortunate that it's tampered and hampered by inadequate control still at that point, but is at least it at least shows that the developers were cognizant that it's not just about torturing you with the running backwards and losing control and whatnot, that it is an attempt to demonstrate some sort of growth, some sort of journey for the character, some sort of arc where they evolve their skills. It's like Final Fantasy 15. You ever play that game, Charkie?
Yeah. And then eventually that growth leads to him getting a sword and just killing dozens of dudes on a ship.
Yeah, like a hero does. This commits cold-blooded murder.
Blahats in chat says, as for the other thing Charkie always says, I know someone who this is their favorite game. They built their persona around Lester. Pre-kiss Lester or post-kiss Lester?
It's the post-beach Lester, where he's recounting his story to his beach babes.
Yeah, maybe they also only played the first level, so they just all about... Actually, no, my personality is all about being picked up by giant birds and being...
Well, with that, I'm assuming we've all said our piece. I'm assuming we all got our thoughts out there. Very good. Well, with that said and done, there's little else left to be said except for, folks, thank you for tuning into this, our playthrough of Lester the Unlikely. What an unlikely hero he turned out to be. Lester the Invincible, more like. I'm glad we played that one. Glad we have that up on the channel now. I'm glad
it was short.
Yeah, yes, as am I. Always pleasant when it's short. Thank you, Charkie, for playing through, for suffering through it, as the case may be. Thank you, folk, for suffering along with us on this one. Consider tuning in to future suffering on our parts, like this coming Thursday, July 16th, where we will begin our playthrough of Damnation, alternate history Civil War, third-person shooting. It's going to be something. It's going to be us finally fulfilling a Patreon poll that was completed, that concluded, that had a tie between that game and You're Empty. We will get to You're Empty later still, but this one will also be worth showing off. Believe you me, lot to talk about when it comes to this game and the history behind it. Saturday, July 18th, tentatively on the schedule, we hope to debut a new long-form series, a new long-form program, the advent of Adver Games. We're going to do an Adver Games series where we play through a whole bunch of Adver Games and rank them and so on and so forth, and do a sort of history of a sub-genre of sorts. If it's not ready by Saturday, it'll be ready by next Saturday with any luck at all. We'll figure things out. We'll rearrange the schedule. We'll do what we got to do. I'm still battling 100-degree temperature, 100-degree fever. So it's a miracle I make it through the shows when I'm in a state like this. But let me cook. Let me figure it out. Let me get my health in order. And hopefully we'll see that sooner rather than later. You can join us Monday, July 20th for a casual Monday. That's the show in which we play not-so-bad games, shoot the shit a little more casually. It's a fun show. It's not a torturous one, like some of these playthroughs might get to be from time to time. So that's good if you want to see a different version of us, a more cool and calm and collected version of the Bad Game Hall of Fame cast. And then last thing I'm going to read here is Tuesday, July 21st. We'll be ringing in the 20th anniversary, not the 20th anniversary. What year did Bad Rats come out? We're going to bring in the birthday of Bad Rats. Whenever year that game initially came out in, we're celebrating that. Bad Rats, The Rat's Revenge, the puzzle game for sickos. So please look forward to that. Please to let folk know about that one upcoming.
17 years old, I believe.
Very good. That one also has a story behind it. It's one we wrote an article about back in the day, so I get to just crib my own notes on that for that history. And it's an interesting one. It's an interesting game. Not a good game. There's a reason why it's on the Bad Game Hall of Fame. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there on Tuesday, July 21st. That's as far ahead into the future as I'm able to look. Also, I will now at this point say, hey, if you like what you saw here tonight, consider joining our Discord server, discord.gg/BGHOF, a community of connoisseurs, talk good games, bad games, every game between, things that aren't video games. Or you can join our Bad Game Club if you must play video games. You can join a channel dedicated to the community commiserating over crap games, sharing their tips and tricks every month as we pick out a new bad game for the Bad Game Club. Johnny, what are folk playing this month?
Yes, we are playing Breakout for the PlayStation 1. Supersonic Software's second attempt to reinvent a classic paddle and ball game after previously doing Pong. And yeah, come check it out. See how much character people can put into, a rectangular object. And yeah, if that's not your fancy, we do a different game every month, different genres, different systems. So there's always something new, or something in the archives you might enjoy as well.
Very good. And hey, if you really like what you saw here tonight, you might consider supporting the show financially by pledging on Patreon, subscribing on Twitch, or becoming a member on YouTube. Any or all of the above will grant you access on that Discord server to a Patreon Saints channel, wherein you can vote in polls to help determine our playthroughs, make suggestions to help steer the direction of the show, gain access to exclusive content, primarily by way of VODs, primarily by way of our Casual Mondays VOD archive, over 180 hours of exclusive content by way of that particular program. Though we're working on fleshing out, putting out further offerings, financial incentives at all. Though perhaps there's no greater incentive, no better reason to support us than for the warm, fuzzy feeling that comes with doing so. Knowing that you're helping this channel grow, keeping the lights on here at the Bad Game Hall of Fame, etc., etc., etc. And we do appreciate those of you who are able to do so. We do genuinely appreciate you enjoying us suffering in some capacity, the horrible feedback loop that is the Bad Game Hall of Fame, the horrible cycle. That being said, if you can't financially support us, we completely understand. If you're still looking for a way to help out the show that is free, you might mosey on over to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/@badgamehallofame. Find our suggested viewing playlist, 20 handpicked episodes that we think make for some of the best onboarding onto this here show of ours. Fit to share with folk you know who might go for video game stream archives in the 3 to 4 hour range, sometimes a little shorter than 3 hours when we get lucky. And maybe you know someone who's an unlikely hero of their own. Maybe you know someone who's modeled their life after the stereotypical image of a dweeb who might finally see this game and say, representation. Maybe they'll get a kick out of that. We leave it to your discretion, dear viewers. With all that being said, there's little else to do except get a raid going. Let's go with Cyberzerker Alpha, who is currently playing 428 Shibuya Scramble with the stream title, They Broke the Law Making This, which has me intrigued. So we will send folk that away. Please to let them know the Bad Game Hall of Fame sent you, so on and so forth. That will do it for us here at the Bad Game Hall of Fame. I have been Crab Walking Cassidy.
I've been Charkie the Unlikely.
I've been #1 Alligator Girl fanboy, Johnny Backhead.
Very good. We'll catch all y'all later on down the line. And until next time, bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
Toodles!